All right, let's get our donkeys in the gates. There you go, Andre. All you, my brother.
It's donkeys today. It's not. I thought it was gonna be horses and thoroughbreds, but looks like we got donkeys in the gates today. Welcome everybody to TopstepTV here at Fast Markets. We got Deanna, we got Dolby, we got Hogue, and myself. Just got a hot reading from CPI there, John. What do we think?
Yes, we did. It's the biggest rise in consumer prices since September.
Yeah.
The rates are going to stay higher for longer. I think we can all pretty much count on that. Part of the issue is mortgage rates are back over 7%.
Uh-oh.
And the housing sector is still really hot. I mean, it's really hard to buy a house these days, and prices are remaining high. Until they can get a handle on that, that's going to be one big part of the ability to reduce inflation. We're 50 seconds here from the open, and we advise everybody to size down, take it easy today. I, however, am not going to do that. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take a 3-lot for the opening range trade, and if it goes my way, I'm going to add 2. Just so you guys don't have to do it, I'm going to do it.
There we go. Hogue is getting in there.
Hogue. Yeah.
We Andre saw the dome is still really thin. We're still looking at 2 digits in the S&Ps. On the way down this morning, after the number came out, there were some size bids even in that thin dome. On the 10s, 52.10, there was a 600 bid that traded out. 52 even, there was a 400 lot bid that traded out. 51.80 weekly kickoff low. There were bids there that stacked up. Those also got filled, and we put in that low. All right, here comes the opening range. We put that low at 51.7650, I think is the low. 51.80 is the weekly kickoff low. So we did find some support down at that level. In NASDAQ, we found a little bit of support at last week's low. I'll put that chart up here. You'll be able to see that right here. 18,051.50 got within 3 or 4 ticks of it, and then found some support there. So just watching this opening range trade now. And we've got 3.25 point opening range. Nothing too big here. And whatever side that breaks out, we're going.
Let's do it.
13 seconds left in the first minute.
Yeah, I'm hopping into a short already, 8:30 here. YM taking a short 38,817, got filled to the tick, and it's already rolling over. So happy with that one. And then we'll see if we can target just the bottom of that range. Oh my goodness, it is just rolling right over. I'm going to go to break even. We're already up. I'm just going to go range to range on this one. We have 1 contract, so let's see if we can get 38,708. I mean, just instant price action. Oh, my goodness.
Let's go.
So we'll flip that one work.
We are open.
I'm going to let the dust settle. I'm going to be looking at GC, gasoline, and also crude oil. I mean, crude oil is just very muted reaction to the CPI, which is kind of expected. But we may have a knock-on effect at some point. However, we've opened inside value there, and similar thing in gasoline futures. So I'm going to stay a little bit patient with those two. And I'm going to wait for my time of day for post and my cut reversal possibility in gold. So we are reaching and tagging some 4-hour demand levels and also exhausting the average daily and session ranges to the downside. Having said that, we have a very large initial balance as a result of CPI numbers. So if we can get back into the initial balance at some point and close one of the 30-minute candles back inside it, there could be scope for the failed auction long, which will be my first hypo. And then we're going to see how the day develops from there, whether that succeeds or fails. That's going to give me some more information and data as the day goes by. So patience is the name of the game for me. I'm trading the aftermath of CPI.
I'm sorry that I missed the bell, but here it is. There you go. All right. So everybody's
better late than never.
Don't hate me,
there
love
it
me.
Is. So I got shorts at 8:30 and 47 seconds at 38,817 in YM, and then I covered at 38,708 at 8:31.40. For $542.
Nice.
So I'm going to lock up my 50K account already. And we're going to And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a good show. I'm done. So, that's fun.
Yeah, go have a nap.
We're still in the opening range trade. We are currently taking some heat. I've got my stop up at 5,300. I did not add to this. We're still only short the 3 contracts. But we've now taken out the high of the opening range just by 1 tick in the S&Ps. That does tend to happen because they know that there are going to be stops up there. The opening range has been taken out on both sides in the NASDAQ. So we're just going to let this play out. I've got about $1,100, almost $1,200 of risk on this for a $1,900, almost a $2,000 profit. We'll see how this plays out.
Wow.
Nice one.
Very nice. Very nice.
Wow.
I guess
we're just putting some wins. Let's feel good.
Hello?
All right, talk to us, Jeff.
That's all I had. That's all I had to say. Putting on winning trades feels nice.
Yeah, 30 seconds of work, Dolby. Not too bad for a morning, huh?
Yeah, nice.
I mean, hey, if you can get a win that early in the day and TopstepX has that lockout feature, I mean, why wouldn't you just want to smash the lockout button and just wrap it up for the day? I mean, $542 is super solid. That's almost like, 15 to 20% of the profit target. And what I really don't enjoy is waking up, putting on a good trade, and then keeping on trading throughout the day, and then slowly chipping away at the profits. And then it's like wearing a heavy blanket. Once you lose about half your profits, you're just like, man, I really wish I just stopped trading an hour ago. And I don't want to have to feel that. So I'm going to switch to a 150K account and lock this one up. And I'm not going to tempt fate in this account. We were blessed that the market got us that entry and exit as fast as it did. So let's just take it and get done with the account.
Nice day. Nice job.
Move on.
Absolutely. That's why we trade.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to try and front run this GC failed auction. So I got a little one lot at 23.45.1. Let's see how that works.
Yeah, I do. I think Crude has some cool stuff going on. YM has some cool stuff going on. YM is in a position where we're at the 15-minute range low right now. It might even expand to the 30-minute range low at 38,714. And then below that, I just have support levels going back to February and then even January, depending how far back we go. So the larger
is a little bit uninteresting for me.
It is uninteresting?
Okay. Yeah, 2 days of bracketing, the range on the daily, inside open, no value rejection yet in the first 30 minutes, which is generally a bad sign for the value rejection. So yeah, that doesn't really spell good trading locations. But you're a range trader, so you're probably seeing something different than I am. I'm looking for those bigger trades myself.
I'm looking at 85.40s in crude oil, which I have as the 1 hour range low and 4 hour range high. So there's like a confluence of kind of support becomes resistance at that area. So if we can pull back even maybe to like 50s, I might try in the 150K account to try to stack some bids below 85.45, 40s. Oh, it's already going to come down right now. Let's try. Let's get an order in here for crude.
All right.
Well, crude, whenever we open inside value, I'm looking for a move outside of value before I try and fade it because it's a responsive activity. And I like to err on the side of, rather than breaking things, breakouts and stuff, I want to fade those moves on inside days. So that's usually one of the high posts that I prefer to see. This is why I sit on my hands until that arrives, and then I kind of pounce. So for now, we're still inside value. So for my style of trading, this is not a great trading location. But again, different strokes, different folks. So
that's right.
Yep. That's why we love trading.
Yep. Real quick, we have a couple hot tilt readings right now. NASDAQ above 70%, 73%. ES above 70%, 72%. What else did we have? Yes, we had YM. Don't forget, we had YM tilts as large as 90% yesterday. We'll keep an eye on that. We did see some unwinding here in ES and S&Ps. Now below 70% is 76 and 69 67 and 69% respectively. So they are trying to take it higher. It looks like they're trying to get on board this. Crude is selling off right now. While we do watch, and John
It
monitors,
is, yeah.
monitors his trade right now. Eddie, what do we have for ecos today?
Top of the hour here. We've got wholesale inventories coming up here in about a blackjack minute, 21 minutes. Crude oil inventories inside the hour. They're looking at around 900,000, last 3.2. Scrolling down here for those that are trading the gasoline production. Yes, that's also going to be coming out here today. We also do have the Thomson Reuters. Scrolling down here, we got Foolsby. Yes, Foolsby. It's going to be speaking here at 11:45. Barkin speaking also 11:45. 12 o'clock, big 10-year note auction. We're going to be watching that at high noon. Remember, these are all central times. 1 o'clock here, we do have the federal budget balance, FOMC minutes, and that's going to be it. And one more thing here, too, that we talked about. I mentioned Russia's got their CPI coming out today, and they're expecting a 0.4% also. So good luck to them. Back to you, Andre.
Good luck to them indeed, Eddie. Full slate of economic releases today. Don't forget about that 10-year auction at noon. Could be a real market mover if bid to cover comes in out of whack, out of line. For the time being, let's trade these markets out. We got we're 9 minutes into the open. Dolby's already made $500 in one comment. Hit the lock button. That one is good to go. On to the next one. So, John, how's the trade looking right now? On mute.
I'm long right now. I got stopped out on the opening range trade. Okay. I'm trading like a grasshopper today.
All right, trade around 5,200s, S&Ps. That might be the key level. Big fat round. We did dip below overnight to 51.76. We got that CPI number. We're trying to find some buyers here in the NASDAQ.
Yes, we are.
So taking a look at the tilt. Shade a little bit long. NASDAQ 72% long. Here you go. YM 65% short. NASDAQ 72% long. So as we've been seeing on the opens, amongst the three S&Ps, NASDAQ, and Dow, we do see some divergence. Eventually, they'll get their act together and start moving together. But for the time being, let's let them sort that out. A little patience is required right now. Deanna, you said you're going to be looking at gold today as well as... Are you still doing RBOB, Deanna?
Yep. Still doing RBOB. Yep. Keeping an eye on crude oil and the ranges, but for now, it's still not quite where my research says it needs to be. Our Roberts, yes. Oh, yeah, update. So yesterday I did do a bit of ES trading. So I just did one long into the close. So that brought my other two combines to target. So I've got another 2 XFAs coming. So.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dow new lows, corner hoop. Thank you, hoop.
Yep. Hey, real quick here, just wanted to jump in. Deanna, for the crude traders, we do have this BOC rate in about 5 minutes.
Oh, good call.
Should we be watching crude on that?
There could be a little bit of bounciness around it, so it depends how big of a change and whether it's an expected move or not. Obviously, we may see a surprise move, in which case, it's going to react. But it does have a big connection to the Canadian dollar, so anything related to the Canadian rate decision, obviously, you need to watch that if you're going to be a crude oil trader. And to be honest, even gasoline, because it's like energies are connected, they have a positive correlation to them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So good catch there, Eddie. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give credit to the chat.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and if you're in TopstepX, we actually do have the calendar in there. You just have to go to Trader Hub, which is upper left-hand corner of TopstepX. It's the 3 little people. Click on that, and then we have Financial Juice piped in, and then you can actually sort all the news that you want. So I have Canada, China, and high, medium, and the US as well. And then that's all you need right there. And so then it'll just automatically filter all the news events. And as you can tell, there is a whole lot going on today and tomorrow.
Yep.
So very, very cool feature built into TopstepX. You got news at your fingertips. So for crude oil, I am looking for an extension down to 85.15. I think crude might be able to run down there, especially with EIA coming up. That is today, right, at 9:30 Centrals. Yeah, so I probably want to hold off placing any crude trades until that happens.
A bit of a muted
how's your
open.
trade doing? Yeah, what? It is kind of a muted open. I'd agree.
Yep.
It is.
I guess.
It is not what I was hoping for. But we don't get to choose that, do we?
Unfortunately, no. That'd be nice if we could. We saw it yesterday. It was first 45 minutes of the opening bell. Not a whole lot going on. Then sure enough, we saw us fall out of bed. And then in the afternoon, we saw some buy it up. We had our conspiracies floating around that they did know the number. I guess that was, in fact, not true. We should have been listening to Bostic the entire time, saying we're pushing out rate cuts further down the curve.
All right, so it took about 400 on this move up
Nice.
in gold. So that was like a front run of the failed auction. So if we get the failed auction in another sort of 15 minutes, there could be another sort of double dip into the failed auction. But this was a nice kind of punt, early punt.
Very nice. Yeah, it really ditched out of that buying tail at the bottom in there in gold, didn't it? That was a good preempt.
Yeah. It's because I had my average daily range level. It was my average daily range. So it was 23.45.1. And then I exited at around 23.50. Just slightly over that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed that pullback. That's awesome. What a great trade.
It's just the average session range low, average daily range low. It's like it's a high probability level. So I just saw that, and coupled with the initial balance being super large, these sort of moves are actually pretty high probability.
Oh, nice. Yeah, crush that one. Looks like some stuff is starting to catch a bid. YM is back up within its 15-minute range low. What else? ES. Hug, you're long the ES right now? Or are you short?
I'm long.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. And how's your opening range trade going?
Oh, it's that died a while ago. I lost 1,100 on that.
Oof. But you executed your system and your plan, though. So that's awesome.
100%.
Yeah, that is awesome. And then, what was your final P&L for that? What's your account at right now?
It's that was 190 because I had a little attempt earlier that was not meant to happen. So yeah, 390 on the day.
Oh, 390, nice.
Yep.
Well, NASDAQ ran it up to VWAP, gave the VWAP a little bit of a kiss and retreated, turned right around as we're pulling off, actually selling off now, about 60 points off of VWAP as we touched it. S&P starting to see some selling. Dow trading a little bit sideways here, Dolby. I'm not sure. Someone needs to wake up the Dow, but the S&Ps and NASDAQ are starting to see some sellers come in. Dow's just chilling right now, but NASDAQ definitely leading the way down off that kiss off of VWAP. So you got to show off VWAP, good on you. Tilt wasn't giving you much there anyways. 67% short now in NASDAQ. Crude just kind of chopping around, trading 85.
It is, yeah.
85.36. I know Dolby's got you got some bids stacked up beneath there.
No, I'm going to wait for EIA to happen.
That's right.
I think we can maybe stretch below the 4-hour range low on a stop run and then maybe hop back up again. But I don't find the trades at this level particularly cheap. I think it's more of a coin flip area for crude right now, especially with EIA coming up, which always will move the market in some form or fashion.
Yep.
It always, injects a bunch of liquidity.
Even if it's just a story,
it could be anything.
Up, down, and then nothing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be crude.
Bank of Canada left rates at 5%.
Okay.
Unchanged.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Probably why it's so
YM rejecting.
A little bit of liquidity there from the news.
Yeah. I mean, YM is real close to approaching new lows. I am thinking about adding in sort of like a breakout, like a range breakout system to kind of like my toolbox here. So I'm going to keep an eyeball on sort of like, because there were like a day yesterday in which, like if we blow through, say, like a 4-hour range low, and like we're not going to consolidate for probably like a really long time after that. So I'm going to see if I can find a system to have like a continuation trade down through that momentum, and then maybe use that previous low as like a balance point for a position. So like, for example, in YM, like I would, like, let's say this was a 15-minute range low right here. I would want to try shorting like 38,715 as a continuation outside of the range and then maybe you put your stop up, up in the middle of the previous range if you're trying to play that continuation downward. So I'm going to keep an eye on it and see. But I do want to have one more tool in my
where would your
toolbox for the
entry
range
be?
trade.
You say that again. Where would your entry be?
Yeah, so if we were going to do like a continuation trade out of the range, it would be like here and at 38,710. Let me try to style this so it's a little bit more apparent. Yeah, it'd be like in this area. That's like 7810. So yeah, it would, I have my line we have the high up here, 38,811. We got the low, 38,715, and then we would try to play the rejection off the bottom, and it would have paid off today. So it's something I'm visualizing, but I don't know if I have a system set up for it. There is a lot more value in continuing that range instead of waiting forever for it to get back down to another range or different consolidations, like way further down. So there's another way to, I think, get involved and try to take high profit, like risk reward trades.
Yeah, I mean, usually what I do because I don't like doing ranges because, as you know, I look for like slightly bigger chunks. But whenever I'm doing that, one thing that I do try to account for is to have the stop loss kind of outside of that whole range. And then I would lower the position size to desensitize the position to anything that can still happen inside the range, just in case we have like a fake out. And then it would allow me a little bit more time to react if the break doesn't have a follow through, if that makes sense. So that's just something
totally
to
makes sense. Like, so you would try to put your stop, like theoretically, let's say like 38,825, which would be above the 15-minute range high. Yeah. So I
using that market structure.
Yeah. I think, with maybe like one YM contract, I think that would probably be doable. And then maybe try to, I don't know how I would scale on that. But it'd be like a lot of risk. You have to have a pretty wide stop to do that.
I mean, it depends on the size of the range. So you would have to work with whatever the market gives you at the time. So yeah.
Exactly. I actually just did. I started journaling yesterday. I gotta say, it feels pretty good to get all that garbage out of your head. But I did write that down. It's like if the wider the range or the longer time frame range you play, you have to have wider stops to accommodate the volatility in and out of that range.
Yeah.
So like for a 15-minute range, I would want to accept more risk.
Very good. Taking a look at the 10-year yield based just after this hot CPI reading, we're looking at a 10-year yield really spiked up to 4.48%, up about 12, 13 basis points from yesterday. We were really down. We were beneath 4.4%. As John said, mortgage rates are going to be up after that hot CPI reading. But yes, right now, 10-year yield, 4.48%. Maybe we'll get some more thoughts and opinions about that from Jack, our bond expert. But I've been seeing a big spike in yields after that hot CPI reading. I think, John, you said it's the hottest reading since last September 2023?
September. Yeah.
Wow.
This inflation isn't going anywhere as fast as they'd like. I guess they're kind of alluding to it. I guess we got a little overzealous with the 7 rate cuts in 2024. Got to take a look at the projections for Fed Fund futures, but I'm assuming we're at 2, probably even leaning towards 1, maybe. I'm not sure, but Fed has a little bit of a tricky situation on their hands with the sticky CPI. Sticky CPI, sticky inflation. We'll have to keep an eye on PPI later this week, and then PCE later down the calendar. But Fed's got something to deal with. This inflation is not going away. All right, catching a bit here. NASDAQ catching a bit. S&Ps. NASDAQ maybe.
John, you're still in your trade?
If you weapon another test here.
Pardon?
Are you still in your trade?
Oh no. I'm flat down about $1,600 right now.
Okay.
I got 2 strikes, one more strike, and I'm done.
Oh no!
Oh, we got this then. We'll find the juicy trade then.
Yeah, just patient, just being. I really like that long against the last week's low there, but
it's probabilities, isn't it? Just put everything in probabilities, and if it doesn't work, you just pitch it to the other stack of probabilities. Like, okay, 30%.
Yeah, I've had much worse days than this.
Oh yeah.
You mean $1,000 down on your sim account isn't one of your worst days, Hogue?
Well, this is live.
Well, that does sting a little bit more. That does sting a little bit more. A little bit more.
Not everyone's in the Matrix full time like you, Dolby.
You gotta get plugged in. I blue pilled it all the way. Just I want that steak. That's it.
Still very thin in the S&Ps. Taking a look, NASDAQ thin. The NASDAQ's always thin. Dow thin as well. Wait this out. Be patient. Like Eddie said, we've got a lot of stuff on the calendar today. We'll get the markets moving. I mean, we're just waiting for that to come in and get a direction going here. But yes, that's CPI. So it'll be in the back. But if you remember last month, or 2 CPIs ago, came in hot, and we saw a big sell-off. And then sure enough, when the coast was clear, the market just kept buying it up. So we'll see if we have a repeat of that. We are catching a bit of a bid here. S&P's above 5,200. So we'll see if that does play out. But it's important to remember previous number releases like this. As the market might, here we go, coming up to VWAP and NASDAQ. See what happens on the second try. We can break through.
The S&Ps haven't been able to close the session gap yet.
Right.
Got to get up to 5208 quarter to do that, and that's right up near VWAP here. The NASDAQ has closed the gap. It's trading back inside yesterday's range right now.
I'm going to try to work some sells, actually. I'm going to try to execute this 15-minute range low rejection in YM.
All right.
So we got 1, 2. So we got 2. Short 2 at 38,714.
Nice.
And now we cross our fingers. So we would be off 1 at, actually pretty soon. Okay, well, I'll just buy 1 back since we already got there. Why do I... All right, sorry, I messed up my orders. We got money, though. But I saw like an order pop up in like crude oil for some reason. I was like, I am not trading crude right now. That would have been a good trade, though. We did scalp like $200 on that one.
Matrix.
It was the Matrix. Jack was right. We can still try that trade again, though. There's no reason why I can't work a second time.
Re-up it.
Re-upping. We are going to re-up. Idea was right. We're going to try it again. That was unfortunate, though. It was just weird. You see those orders pop up on a different screen. You're like, no. Not be
5
there.
minutes remaining.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to rework orders.
I think we all have PTSD from like order filled, and you're like,
yeah.
100%. 100%. All right, so let's rework it. 38,000. Okay, now we're filled again. All right.
I think Eddie put in the chat, Bowman does not comment on economic policy. It's from about 45 minutes ago, so nothing coming there. We'll have Goolsby later today speaking. He's not a voting member, so it should be taken with a grain of salt, what he has to say. Like I said, we got wholesale inventories.
With the Fed speakers, because, you know, they have to say whenever they're making any sort of public appearance. So they could be like at their niece's birthday party, and they're like, they're speaking. It's like, it
does not comment on economic policy at little Johnny's 5th birthday.
Exactly.
That's really funny.
At least not openly.
Okay, now we're again.
Not openly, exactly.
38,713. We're short again in the YM. Short to 38,713. We'll short one more at 38,726.
Didn't you lock out this account?
No, this is the 150K. I've been working. So I have 2. I have the 50K and then I have the 150K.
Dolby's on the move, man.
Here.
All right, here we are.
Gotta keep the Goldman interns on their toes.
Yes, we do. We'll let them know your next. Yeah, can never let them know your next move, Dolby.
Never let them. You cannot. You cannot.
Never let them see you sweat.
Yeah. Not great momentum in this thus far, but momentum can be deceiving with what's going on in the market these days.
Gap close in the S&Ps.
Right.
Okay, so we want one at 680.
Ripped, was it 09s there, John, or 10s? Or 08s?
Yeah, the gap close was 08 quarter. 08 quarter.
was your play too. So
I'm
lame.
gonna try a short here.
Yep, up against VWAP. We got number though in 3, number in 2.
Cool.
This is gonna be light and tight. I don't want it to go back into the range from yesterday. I'm with Dolby.
Hop on. Water's warm.
Water's good.
Water's
I
warm.
really like this, but we are putting in higher highs and higher lows in short time frame. But we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Very
So
thin
we are
on the
trying to
ladder.
get out. Yeah. We're trying to get one out at 38,682, and then the other one we'll try to get out at 38,641, and then the last contract we're just going to run and play the consolidation. So that's what we're trying to do as part of the discipline challenge that we're trying
Breaking up a bit.
to do. So
Hey, you're losing Dolby.
yeah.
Reestablish connection.
Yeah, what's going on?
No, you're better now.
Yeah, why am I breaking up? That's weird.
The solar eclipse, man. It's aftershock, the after effects of the eclipse.
I was expecting somebody to turn up with shades.
Oh, I know what it is.
With the special
Missed the
shades,
trick,
those
didn't I?
those 3D, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I should be better now. Sorry, guys. I think my cat unplugged my Ethernet, so my computer
Oh, there you go.
to like
That
a
will do it,
Wi-Fi
yeah.
with no antenna.
That cat's got he's out to get you.
On a mission.
Just loves
And
attention.
people are asking about silver. I saw some comments here. The reason why we have other products before silver is because silver is pretty expensive. So naturally, I don't think we have that many silver traders either. So supply demand and all that.
All right, we're out 1, and we're moving our stop to just above the previous 5 minute high from 38,735.
All right. We got the wholesale inventories coming in here at 5%. That was expected. The previous was also 5%. Wholesale month over month coming in at 2.3, much higher than the 0.8% they were looking for. Coming up next here, half past the monkey's ass, 9:30, EIA oil inventories, crude oil inventories, looking at about 800,000. Back to you, Andre.
Thanks, Eddie.
Okay.
All right, Johnny took the trade. Tell us. Johnny took the trade in the live account. Tell us what you got going.
We traded to the gap close in the S&Ps.
Yep.
I'll put this up here. So this is yesterday's range session low. We traded to it, and we've so far rejected that level. So I took a short. I didn't get the best trade location, but just looking for it to rotate maybe low of value. Back to break even now.
All right, so gold failed the auction, but the way it failed the auction was via a move of 140 ticks. So what I have a couple of hypos here. So either a bit of a pullback down to maybe a quarter of this range, so somewhere around, again, 23.42 maybe. If not, I'm going to look to see if the upside move might fail around 23.56.6, because that's where the drop-based drop formation of supply and demand zones is located. So that would be kind of like a weakness inside initial balance trade. And then if that doesn't quite give enough momentum, then we may have a new range established post the large release. And in that case, I have to be patient and then just try to play one side of the range. So basically turn it into Dolby. So we'll see which one of those hypos comes true. But obviously I took a little bit of profit front running the failed auction. And now it's a little bit too far from my orientation point. So I have to rein in my own grasshopperiness and try to find a better opportunity.
And also, I'm going to try longs in crude oil too, if we can get to like 85.09.
Gotcha. I see what
You're going to wait for the inventories though?
Ooh. Oh, those haven't happened yet. Just kidding. No, I'm pulling those orders. Thanks.
Just kidding.
Guardian Angel like D. What do I do without you?
What we do?
You owe me a drink. I saved you some money.
There you go.
I'm going to try to take off one more in this in this YM trade at 38,682, which is the halfway point. So we're out one more. Now we're going to let this other one run. And the next target's going to be the low of the range, 38,640.
Ooh, here we go. Gold. We got 82% long in gold. GC, 82% long. Everything else 50-50 across the board. We did see some heavy long biases in equities. Those washed out as before the number there, before the wholesale inventories. Like D just reminded Dolby, in about 27 minutes, we got crude inventories at the bottom of the hour here. People like keep it tight. We are selling off in crude right now, trading 85.13.
Thank you, D. D totally just saved me like
That's what we do.
$200.
I love it, man. I love it.
That's awesome.
All right. So Johnny got short up against UEP, high of the range there. Johnny, I like your entry.
There's something I'm not liking about it. It's not getting through point of control very well here.
VWAP slope looks good.
Yeah. I've trimmed the risk a little bit, just above this little swing high up here. Okay. This is a new chart for me, right? I haven't looked at a tick chart in years, and so just trying to look at things in a little bit shorter time frame. Maybe look for a few more opportunities.
I think your trade location is really good. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, were you trying to play
the support? Is always amazing.
Yeah, I mean, are you trying to play the support becomes resistance rejection at like the 5208 level?
Well, it's more off the profiles. I mean, we traded to close the session gap from yesterday, and so far it has been rejecting it. But I'm not liking the fact that it's not pulling back below the point of control here.
Got it. Well, I think it's a cool trade.
I mean, I've trimmed the risk on it a little bit. If we take out this swing high, I'll be out.
Right.
It's $137 in risk right now. Back to break even.
Nothing. It's a rounding error, Hogue.
Crude caught a bid there. I ran for made new lows, trading 85.26.
Oh, really? Did it?
Yeah, up about 13 cents. Up about 16 cents off the lows of 85.10. No, he's crude, man. It's all over the place.
No.
Yeah, but don't worry. You'll have your chance. Gold kind of drifting.
100% right.
Drifting higher here. Diddling in the middle of the range, of today's range. $40 range in gold. My goodness. Good stuff. And yeah, everything's trading a bit sideways right now. But like I said, don't forget about yesterday. We traded sideways or choppy for the first 45 minutes. And then we saw we saw huge liquidity get injected in the market. Volume was supporting all those moves. And I think we may see something similar today. High noon, we got that 10-year auction. We got FOMC minutes this afternoon. But first coming at us in the pipeline is EIA crude inventory.
Here we go.
Johnny.
Just gotta believe, Hogue. Just let it go.
Just hammer that damn thing.
Listen, I'm sitting in my YM until I get stopped out at break even. So I want to play range to range. For whatever the largest range is. So we're starting to get about a 15-minute range here in YM. So I'm going to wait for this to break out, which could be, that might take a minute, or I just get stopped out. So we'll see. But we've done a good job taking profits thus far.
This thing is just
not doing anything, Hogue.
Point of control.
Yeah. I mean, I still kind of want to even take shorts again. But let's see if it stretches back up. Or that's going to do a stop run, Hogue. That's what I'm worried about. It's going to do a little stop run.
Yeah, right here.
Gold's catching a bid?
Gold's catching a bid. Hey, Dolby, there'll be a stop above? Stops above?
Where? Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, one tick above a high or a low is the weakest version of that.
That's where mine is.
Yeah.
Good stuff. There you go. There you go. Good stuff there. Hope everyone caught that. Stops one tick above or one tick below, the high or the low. There's be some stops.
Is the weakest holder. Yeah. Right. So a good way to think about it is like, think of all the times that you went to break even on a trade where it's like, oh, I'm just going to put my stop one tick above that previous high. Like, what is your conviction level of that trade? Yeah. Right? It's like, what is your conviction level? Oh, it's probably not very good. And so you're the cheapest person to go and get liquidity from because that's where your stop is. So if you look at my range bound trades, I'm trying to be that person to flip them out of their trade.
There they go. I'm out.
Yep.
There's 3 strikes.
Well, you can switch it over, Johnny, but yeah. So Dolby, to that point, are those a bunch of people executing those cheap trades that we talk about all week, right? Those are the ones with the weakest hands.
So I'm in timeout now.
Yeah, you have to think. If you could get like a little dunce cap on, Hug. Yeah, you didn't dunce though. You did what you were supposed to do. But
yeah, we're executing.
Yeah, I mean, you did what you're supposed to do. You executed your trades according to plan. Yeah, I mean, if you're like a fund or something and you want liquidity, well, you have to drive price to get people out of their trades, and so the easiest people to stop out are the closest ones. So if you're a low conviction trader, if you're a low conviction trader, your stop is going to be one tick below the previous low or one tick above the previous high. You probably don't have a ton of conviction in that trade, and they're just going to come and stop you out and reverse price. So, I find I trade much.
So annoyed I got out of my gold trade.
No, I see it rallying. I see it.
Yeah. Like I just want to go jump out the window now.
Yeah. Oh no. But you got profits though. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
I should have listened to. I was recognizing that the market wasn't giving me what it wanted. It wasn't getting and holding below the point of control. I should have taken it out there, just by being creative and accepting what the market was telling me. But the risk was minimal, so we took it, and we'll see what happens. Cheap trades is what we're looking for, right?
Cheap trades.
Yep. That's the name of the game. That's all we're trying to do.
S&P's, NASDAQ pretty much stuck to VWAP right now. As D said, gold on the move to the upside, busted right through VWAP. Oil caught a bid, busted, went right to VWAP, bounced right off. VWAP in play on all 4 markets on my screen right now. NASDAQ, S&P's, gold, and crude. VWAP is the play, but the equities, they are stuck too. Dolby, what's happening over there in the YM? I don't have them. I'll pull it up real quick.
Do a little stop run of the 15-minute range, but it's already starting to catch some sellers again. So we probably need another 20 minutes before, not probably, we need another 20 minutes for the 30-minute candle to print. And if it does print within 38,811 or 38,715, now I would upgrade the range to like a 30-minute range, which is even more compression, and which suggests to me we'll have even more volatility breaking out of that range. So it still has another 20 minutes to figure out what it wants to do. We have another 4 minutes until another 15-minute candle, and that's just going to keep on, tighter and tighter and tighter. And as we say, can't stay in a range forever. So tighter it coils, the more tension is in there, and the bigger the move out of the range. So a lot of opportunity is coiling up within the YM.
Are you thinking upside opportunity?
I haven't really picked probably downside, to be honest. I would test downside first before upside, because if you pull up a daily chart on the YM, we've broken below the daily range low, which I have is 38,879. And then if you go even to like a 4 hour, the 4 hour isn't range bound yet. So this is kind of bearish until proven otherwise, in my opinion. And the 1 hour is starting to consolidate a little bit, but it's kind of just sticking with that 15-minute range high and 15-minute range low. So it is really coiling up pretty tight, but I'm defaulting to the bearish side just because of the previous long-term market structure.
Yeah, I'm with you. And not just that, Dolby, the opening range is the dead ass high of the day. So the opening range trade to take today would have been the Dow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Dow lagging right now.
It doesn't mean it's not going to be a
No, it doesn't.
long opportunities at some point in time.
Agree.
Very easily could have taken longs at 38,642, and you'd be sitting pretty right now. That's just my bias.
Got a poll up right now. Who's up? Who's down? Nice and easy. Get it in there. Who's up? Who's down? We will recap that here in about 5-6 minutes. But yes, who's up? Who's down? We are about 45 minutes into the session. Who's up? Who's down? If you're down, don't let that keep you down. We got about 5 hours left in this day. Plenty of opportunity to be had.
Yeah, just a slight correction. I'm on a combine, by the way, not XFA, because it's the first day, so I need to run that up a little bit. So just if we can correct that.
And Dee, you were saying yesterday something that I thought was really interesting, kind of about just combine.
There he goes again.
Man, sort of like.
Yeah, you cut up again.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
God damn, really? I'm gonna talk to James. I might need to do a reset real quick. But you were saying that when you take more risks, I believe, when you first started trading combine, and then you start sizing down as you start making profits, right? Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
and that's
so
trading combine strategy.
Yeah, that's trading combine. In an XFA, it's quite the opposite, because there's no way out, right? So you can't reset an XFA or a live account, right? So you have to be a lot more risk minded when you're, especially the first couple of weeks. And I see many people doing quite the opposite. They're kind of like all timid in combines, and then they pass it, and then they just get messed up with a dopamine injection. They're all happy that they passed, and they just really want to get in there, and then they just get themselves in a hole on the first day. So that's not really, to me, like I said, I do everything the wrong way around. So I do things the opposite way to many people. And I've always been maybe a little bit unusual that way, probably because I'm a left-handed person. So I see things.
Yes.
Yeah, entirely.
Found that out yesterday.
Yeah.
Found that out.
Yeah.
So Dee, every time in school when you're younger, writing cursive with your pen or whatever with your left hand, you would just smear everything that you wrote behind you, right? Everything would just get smudged.
I would, and then I got scolded, and then my dad had to go in and to tell the teachers to leave me alone, and then they tried to make me to write with my right hand because it was in 1987, and I was already writing for like 2 years because I'd learned how to write really early on. And then at one point they even, the old, like, I'm showing my age now, they even tried to tie up my left hand so that I could like write.
Oh my God.
And my dad just exploded when he heard that. He was like, "Leave my child alone."
Yo, yeah, those are those days are long gone.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
That explains a lot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Oh, the trauma of being a lefty. Oh, yes.
No, in eighth grade, our teacher had
using, what is it? The ink pen is the worst thing ever. So when we were allowed to finally use the ball pen, it was like the happiest day of my life. But the ink was just terrible, man. And I had like all the little squiggles everywhere. Like, it was all a mess. Yes. And they're like, "Yeah, you have to write with your right hand." And I'm like, "That's not how it works."
Even worse.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh no, dude.
In eighth grade, our eighth grade teacher had us switch hands for a week. So those that were writing lefty, it was just for a nice little test. Actually, one of the kids in the class, one of the boys in the class, he changed to lefty, and he's been a lefty ever since.
Oof. Really?
Really weird.
Oof.
Yeah.
Stuck with it.
He stuck with
it. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Didn't have that in the bingo card. Okay. Hey, all right, quick update on the poll, and then we're going to go to Jack for our news. Over 600 votes in the first 5 minutes of this poll. 67% are up, 33% are down. Good on you if you're up. It has not been the easiest trade. We are chopping around, kind of drifting a little higher. Jack, do you have any traumatic stories like that from your elementary school days where they tried to make you a lefty or tried to turn you into a righty?
Oh, that took a turn. I thought you meant, do I have some traumatic stories now? And yes, one of these news stories will be. As far as grade school, no, I blacked those all out a long time ago. So I think I had a pretty idyllic childhood, but who knows what I'll find out one day. Yes. Anyway, just wanted to visualize some core CPI inflation with you guys to start off. As you can see, that trend is troubling that little ramp up, but we shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, one of the things that's going on, commodities are very high right now. However, this is like the possible toll of doom. Commodities are also historically cheap right now compared to stock indices. So they're both expensive, but the market's real expensive compared to them. Something to keep an eye on. Now the traumatic story, I promised. Sent by Hogue. We keep on learning more about these goddamn cicadas that are coming. And Hogue sent me this hypersexualized zombie cicadas may spread STDs in Illinois emerge. Now, this story is a bit hyperbolic because it's STDs for the cicadas.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like humans can get them, but it doesn't sound pleasant. There was one line that needs to be seen. The trillions of cicadas emerging later this summer could include some of what's called zombie cicadas infected with a fungus that causes them to frantically mate even as their genitals are falling off.
Wow.
We've got no job. We've got no food. Our cicada genitals are falling off.
Let's procreate.
No. Yeah, and Tony in the chat, I won't say it here, but that is correct. Don't do that. Anyway, and lastly, Andre, where you were gone, we got some tweets. This was not tweets, comments. This was one about whether you're cloned.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen the movie Moon?
Well,
no, it's a similar thing where we make a new Andre every 3 months and destroy them, kind of like film Multiplicity, which I haven't seen, but I assume they destroy all of the.
Wow, Andre McHugh. Oh man, yep, yeah, every 3 months. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you have a crush on Andy McDowell?
I do now. I've just
Moon. Hold on. Is that the one with the clone thingy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was mean. Oh, I didn't know. I did watch that because I'm a sci-fi buff. Oh my god, it was horrible.
Oh,
Moon's
Moon's
great.
Moon's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Home and everything. They just bloody.
Thank you.
Not the feel good movie. No.
They're mean around here. I agree. Thank you, Deanna.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I know because I covered his face 7 times a few minutes ago.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
you guys are just brutal around here, man. My God. Well, thank you for that, Jack. We'll see if I come back to you later today after that. Gosh, these guys.
So you don't know how to use Photoshop, though, so you're at a major disadvantage.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an app out there that just do it. I agree.
The meme is mightier than the sword.
You can learn.
Yes, because I cannot trade in useless. We'll go back. That's precisely why.
wow, that's mean. Let's not do
Precisely
that,
why.
guys. Like, what the hell, man? Come on.
Right.
Like,
Yes,
you
indeed.
got trolls coming out now.
I should have highlighted that.
Be nice.
I should
Yeah,
have highlighted that.
it takes as much effort to be a mean person as it does to be a nice person. So why do you have to go the other way? Man? Just don't do that.
Man. Good job, guys.
You're just a bully, Jack.
Not a bully, a lot of jerks in this chat, man. Gosh.
Oh, it's Champion.
Good job, Jack.
Yeah,
Look what you
Jack. Yeah.
Look what you started, Jack. Hold on. I'm seeing gold running high. Okay, thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Yes, I thought it said crude, but yes, gold. Man, let's take a peek at gold real quick. Wow, gold is running hot. This is what Jack was talking about. These commodity prices really starting to get inch higher. Might be starting to bleed into the CPI numbers. I remember when we were cracking 80 in crude, uptaking the 81s, 82s, 83s. We started to see adverse reaction in the equity, starting to see a sell-off. One of the speakers said that we need crude to tick up in the 90s and stay in the 90s for a little bit longer for it to really bleed into CPI. But it looks like the futures markets, as they're supposed to, are starting to kind of price that in a little bit. CPI starting to see it too. But yeah, gold is on the move to the upside. D, you wanted to be long. You were bullish gold. And then we had to wait for something. And sure enough, here we are almost on the highs for the day.
Yeah, it's the full failed auction, which is what I was looking for to get into. And then I was like, I got so twitchy with crude oil not doing anything for 2 months that I just now bail out of trades, and then I watch them go to like Target and then some. So that needs to change. I'm really annoyed with myself now.
You can join our discipline challenge and try to stick with the system.
Yeah, the problem is I've got the other problem where I am disciplined because I'm like, just take the base hit, D. Just take the, take the 40 ticks. You'll be all right. Take the 40 ticks. And then I'm like, well, what am I doing here? Like, I know how these setups play out, and I've seen them a million times, and now I'm just like looking at it going, so where did I go in? I went, what was it? 23, 40, like, I think I went in at 23, 41 or something. Yeah, we're 243 ticks away from that. Right.
Dolby, why don't you tell them, for those that may not be familiar, the discipline challenge? I think this is something I kind of got caught up to speed yesterday in the discipline challenge. Tell everyone about the discipline challenge. Pardon me. Where it started and how it's going, and what your discipline is that you're working on.
Yeah, so it's just an idea that I had. I think over the weekend, I was just really impressed with the quality of traders that we've had on recently, and something I've noticed with our Max Maseratis, our Ripses, our Dakotas, is just how consistent they are with their system and strategy. From everything from analysis to taking on trades to taking profits, it's all been really, really just inspiring to me. So I also want to get to that point, and so I identified a weakness of mine, which is profit taking. My system is kind of all over the place. And so I am also challenging chat as well to find something that they want to work on, and we can kind of work on it together and kind of hold each other accountable. And Andre, I actually want to work with you, maybe even offline. I think what we want to do is actually develop a hashtag for Power Hour, right? So we'll develop
the
a hashtag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll develop a hashtag for Power Hour. And then what we can do is we'll have people in the earlier process kind of like maybe tag us, and then we can share their wins during Power Hour. Maybe I think that would be pretty cool, right? So that way we're kind of getting the community involved and holding each other accountable. So for example, if someone just passed a trading combine, send us, tag us, hashtag Power Hour, whatever the hashtag is, we'll work on it. Or let's say you want to stick to a personal daily loss limit for, a week, go ahead and post lost negative $500 every single day or whatever it is, post that to socials, tag us, and then we can share it on Power Hour. So I think that would be really cool. We would get the community involved and kind of just let's share our wins and get through all this together. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Love that, man. I wrote down for notes later in our Power Hour hashtag discipline challenge. We'll come up with a nice, clever hashtag there, but I really like that. Helping everyone trade better.
What does a hashtag do?
Oh, it's so it's like for social media. So if you're on like Discord, Twitter, Instagram, you do like hashtag Power Hour. And then if you go into those platforms and type hashtag Power Hour, you would then see all the posts that have hashtag Power Hour in it.
So it effectively increases the visibility of the posts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And I did do a little.
You can pair it up with something that is already popular, like typically the symbols are pretty popular. So like hashtag ES or hashtag NQ, and then you go hashtag Power Hour, and then it kind of spreads, and then you're like, oh, what's this Power Hour thing? And then other people start using it as well. So it's a pretty good way to spread the word.
Don't really do social media, so thank you for telling me what that does.
That's
4 minutes here.
fun ideas. So
makes it searchable. Okay, I got it.
Maybe
it's easy way just to identify. You go straight to anything that's associated with Power Hour. So hashtag Power Hour. You see all the posts, all the tweets that are associated with Power Hour. It comes from D. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like was it SQL, search query language, or something like that? As a way to
I think
search
so.
database and stuff like that. It's old.
Yep.
Long time ago.
Yeah, it's queries. It's queries. Yep. Oh, very, very long. Yeah, long time ago.
Way above my pay grade.
But it carried over.
Yes, it did carry over.
It carried over into like the modern and front end that we have right now on social media. But that's where it comes from. It's basically kind of keywords, effectively.
Keywords. Thank you.
Yeah. So
hey, Eddie, when you get that number, please Morse code in. as always.
I will. I am the prize.
And the prize, baby. Kind of drifting higher here after that big sell-off. Gold, it's makes some high. Well, session highs, I'd say. Yeah, Jack, something
I
definitely.
might try and fade gold now. We have a neutral day type. We kind of tagged that supply from overnight trading.
Okay.
So if I get an opportunity, I might pop a trade in.
Hey, just a
It's now
reminder here
annoying
for
me.
those that are trading crude, check. Number's going to be coming out here. If you want a position on, fine. If you don't, make sure that you're flat. Check, double check, triple check. Cover your butt.
Yep. Good. As always, Eddie. Always watching our six. Every time a number comes out, we should always remind him. Eddie does a great job of that. Flatten all, cancel all. But if you do want to have a number on, or do want to have a position on through the number, make sure you can play that stop. Accept the risk.
I mean, that's a good question, right? You do want to accept the risk. A question for the panel: what are some conditions in which you would hold a trade through the numbers?
Question.
Ooh, I don't think
well
I have.
into the money.
Maybe.
Well into the money with the stop moved into lock in profit. At the very least,
Does that ever happen for intraday? Does that ever happen for intraday though, where you get a massive move before the release on the day? I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, few and far between. But Dolby asked under what conditions would I do it? I guess that would be the condition with which I'd do it.
Yeah, maybe if I was in a swing trade. So something that I held for a few days, and maybe I'm in profit for about 200-300 ticks, and then I have space to kind of go, okay, so if this starts to go crazy in my favor, I keep it. But if it goes slightly against me, then you lose out on some of the profit and try and bail, right? But any other intraday, no situation, absolutely not. I would not hold anything.
I mean, they're saying here, is
too
it
much
gambling?
Is
it gambling?
Yeah.
I'll give you that. It might be. It might be a bit of gambling because, of course, we don't know the number. But you aren't. I mean, gambling means you're going to lose money. So if you can ensure that you have profits locked in, is that really a gamble at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good question, though. But here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Crude just
melted.
Sold off. $85. Just broke 85.
Okay.
498.
Expecting the Morse code any minute.
Yes, we should. Dude, the juice has been slacking lately.
Doesn't mean it's not going to stay here, though. I mean, that's
true.
Crude. We might see indices catch a bid, though, if crude actually does commit to rolling over. So it's something to keep an eye on. I do feel like the indice crude relationship is starting to pick up. I think it might actually start mattering in a couple of months.
All right, Dolby. Once after we get this number and EIA, I want you to touch on that. I think we're thinking the same thing here, and Jack kind of touched on it in his news pack there. What do you got, Eddie?
Right here, right now, we're coming in at 5.84. They were looking at 800,000, and coming in at 5,841,000. Gasoline inventories, they were looking at negative 2.3, coming in at 715,000. There you go. There's your numbers for our crude inventories. Really no jump here in the crude, but better safe than sorry.
Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah,
Dolby time. I want you to touch on that. We're starting to see commodity prices, oil prices, also these elevated prices are starting to bleed into equities. Is that kind of the relationship that you're talking about?
Well, typically, yeah. I mean, as oil goes higher in price, that means everything in the world basically just gets more expensive. Like oil touches basically everything from food to shipments to pumping up gas in the car to making plastics. Shipping oil touches every single market that exists. So
100%.
the more expensive oil gets, the cost of business gets also increases, and then that cost will get passed down eventually to consumers. So gas prices will affect consumers immediately, but longer term, higher oil prices can impact businesses, right? Because now they're paying more for raw cost of goods and things like that. So it's definitely important to watch. As I would say, if crude could get above 90, I think we're starting to flash the yellows. If we get up to 100, I think we're flashing red because I think crude will start taking some headlines at that point if we can push 90 to 100 a barrel.
I like that.
Well, we got a little bit of a shift change coming here. So
do we?
yeah. Yeah, I
Sweet.
gotta move on to got some things to take care of, and so we're gonna have Eddie and Robert coming in. It was fun trading with everybody today. Wasn't a very good trading day for me, but that's okay. That happens from time to time, and we will be. I'll be checking in with you later. If I do anything else, I'll let you know.
Thanks, Hogue. We'll see
It was
you.
a pleasure, Hogue. See you
Hogue
later.
will be
Pleasure
back
to
with
you,
us.
actually.
Yeah, Hogue will be back with on shoulder tap and patience with KV. So we'll see him later this afternoon. Hogue, tough little morning. Don't worry, nothing we can't make back. We'll see you later this afternoon, huh, Johnny?
Yeah, there's
Who's
nothing
that?
we can't do.
Nothing we can't do. Who's that? Is that Eddie?
Here I is.
Right, yes. What's
Yeah,
up,
is it?
Eddie? What
Yo.
the hell, dude? Dude, financial juice has been slacking on you, man. What the heck? The releases keep coming out late.
You know
Just
what?
sitting here-
I've got a few sites. I think that number was just a little tardy.
Okay,
A little tardy for the party. So,
off
but
the-
it didn't really move like we usually see. I mean, that was pretty skewed. That number coming out
Right?
crude.
You
You
always
know, and
miss.
usually that's yeah. I mean, it's somebody turns the blender on, and it really didn't. But yeah, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to see how this progresses here. Once again, here I am a scalper, and I have scalped here today. I've got a few scalps under my belt. So I'm going to see if I can get another opportunity here. Trading the 150K XFA. And right now my balance is about almost $600.
Okay.
I'm trying to short gold 23.65 contrarian D.
Short and gold? Okay.
Yep.
I start to see. Well, she shorts gold.
It might just smack me right in the face, but we'll see.
Hold on. Hang on here. Hold on.
You know, Deanna, I've noticed here in gold, you know, I've got my dome up here, and the offers are much bigger. Yesterday it was like,
That's
oh my
what I
God,
see.
what's going on? But the buyers are more aggressive. I mean, we're seeing that here right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You know, those offers are just sitting there, and they're just lifting the offers. And once again, here we got a little move to the upside here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it had a little breather earlier, so there was a pullback after a neutral day. So I figured it's worth doing it.
There's the newest member of joining us today in Fast Markets, Coach Robert. Robert, welcome.
Thank you very much. It goes the neighborhood, eh?
Right, about flat on the
You're
day.
looking for that short, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm hands down here right now. I'm just going to wait for a better. I'm going to be very frugal here. You know, I've sort of hit my profit target in my XFA.
Okay.
Maybe I switch over to the 50K combine and sort of throw some sides there.
So, crude oil inventories expected forecast 0.8 million, actual 5.84 million. So they're
5 million difference,
and we're rallying, and we're rallying. All right.
Yeah.
Good luck to all the crude traders out there.
Looks like you guys had some fun this morning with the CPI numbers, and of course the EIA that's out here. Didn't do a heck of a lot, but interesting. Gold and oil was just making some pretty good recovery news there. You know.
Yeah.
There's
there's the pullback. Yeah.
It stopped me out to the tick and reversed.
No.
It's one of those days, guys.
Oh boy. Yep.
First I miss a 240 tick move, and then it stops me up for a tick, and then goes my way.
And of course, we all know
you can't run, you can't hide. I will find you. I will find your stop and stop you out. For I am the market, and I know who you are.
Yes, thank you, Liam. Get the hell out of here.
You bastard. Oh.
Stopped up to the tick. That's never happened before, right?
Of course not. Well, yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. Let's maybe try that again. But I'm gonna clip it to micros and then maybe just give it a little bit more room, because I think maybe my stop was based on like a more regular day. Because whenever you get stopped out to the tick, it means your stop loss was not quite wide enough to take that volatility that we have at that point. And I mean, it is post CPI, so we do have a ton of movement here. If you look at the
Here we
size
go
of these
again.
candles, they're enormous. So yes,
D,
we'll see.
I think I'm going to fade you,
sense-
D.
I can
Let's see
sense
if I
the
catch a little
sarcasm.
profit here.
Hmm.
It's pulling back here nicely now for you.
Yeah.
See if I catch a little profit here.
It's all in a day's work.
We got S&Ps moving to the upside here. Are they going to fill this gap from? Are they going to rebound this and buy back this entire sell-off from CPI this morning? They did it last CPI reading. Will they do it this time? We're about halfway there. That's good to keep these previous scenarios in the back of your head. This is why you say you can't replace screen time. So we're talking about screen time. CPI came in hot February, sold off hard. By the end of the day, we were back up to even on the day. So I'm going to see if we can. Market's going to do something similar as we did last time.
Very
Ooh,
interesting.
active here.
Shep did good this morning too with some of the trades. I saw the percentages up there. 70, almost 70% being up this morning. So that's great.
Yeah. Hey, JD, if you're there, I'm really interested to see if the hot streaks are continuing. If our man got up to 33 days in a row.
So there was just a little bit of a shakeup on the hot streaks list today.
All right, what do we got?
First, our leaders from yesterday, Jacob and Shay, did not trade yesterday, so their streaks are still intact, but they are left off the list for today. Jacob is still at 32 days, and Shay is at 25 days currently.
Okay.
We did lose Dan S from yesterday. He took a $1,000 drawdown after 23 days on the hot streak list. So we do have a couple new names coming out.
Cool.
James, you want to hit that hot streaks list?
Hot streaks. Okay.
All right, starting at the bottom, say hello to Remy and Petrus, who are both at 18 days on their streaks. Arian made it on the list briefly last week when a few traders on the top of the list were taking some time off. Arian is also at 18 days. Then we have Kyle and Gabriel, who are both at 22-day heaters at the moment. So we'll see if Jacob and Shay traded today. Maybe we'll have them back on the list again tomorrow. So looking forward to seeing that. All right, let's look at our yesterday's best live funded P&Ls.
Oh,
it's our boy, Mr. Slow Markets.
Yeah,
Coach Dakota, right at the top of the list.
Had a
Dakota
feeling.
picked up close to 14 grand in the live account, trading gold, NASDAQ, and the Nikkei yesterday. You're going to see his name in a little bit. Jack's going to come on and do the top 10 list. I've been summoned elsewhere for the rest of the day, so Jack's going to hit that top 10 list. I think you're going to have a nice treat there. Moving on, though, Selman is on the list for the second consecutive day. Yep. Selman has a 2-day running total of $17,111. Not a bad start to the week for Selman. Venkata has been on the list quite a few times before. Venkata picked up 7 grand trading the NASDAQ. And Xavier, 6,200 trading the ES and NQ. And finally, Farouz, who has been on our leaderboard for the last couple weeks, took home $2,700 trading the NQ and MNQ. We're going to see Farouz's name a little bit later on also. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Again, Jack's going to be back with that top 10 list, so I'll catch you all later.
Thanks,
Thank you, JD.
All right, while JD was speaking here, caught another little scalp here. Just a little $200
I pulled
winner.
it back as well. Yeah. And I'm short again now from 23.67.7, so I covered a little bit of that. Smack in the face earlier.
Good job. Hey, Robert, what were you looking to trade today, Rob? What do you got?
Yeah, thanks, Andre, for kicking that over there. And if everybody's jumping in the trade, just take it right back over again. That's what we're here for. I'm kind of on the Joby bandwagon as far as putting up a challenge for myself. I kind of funny because I thought about it like a day before he started doing his, although we didn't talk about it. So it's a perfect timing. So the reason I thought about this is because all the micros are on Topstep X now. So I did a self-reflection also, and anybody who knows me, I'm in and out pretty quickly, scalping, taking things on NQ, looking at YM. But I'm going to take a whole different angle on this. I'm going to trade higher time frame charts. I'm only trading micros. The screen you're looking at now is my brand new 50K combine. We can see that I started. It's April 10th. We got it going last night. 50K combine, no trades, no nothing. And we're going to follow the rules and get funded using only micros. So I thought that would be a good little challenge. Just calling it my own, Rob's micro challenge. And we'll do things keep everybody posted as it is. So I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to trade it as if it's an XFA. So I'm not going to do any more than 2 contracts due to the scaling plan, so I can prepare for what I need to do when I'm funded, instead of just throwing 5 and then I get funded and like, I can only do 2 now. So I'm going to pretend that I'm funded already, trade it that way. I'm targeting, just over $200 a day, so I can prepare for when I'm funded to take a payout. And I have all my settings set up that way. I went into my settings. I have my bracket orders already set, 100 profit target, 100 risk. It's just going to stamp them on the screen. I can adjust from there just to get something on the chart. And I have a personal daily loss limit of 250. It's going to liquidate and block. And I have a personal daily profit target of 250, and it will liquidate and block me out using that nice feature tool that we have there. So I made a couple marks this morning. Once we broke over this level, this level. It's once we broke out of NQ 18213. I kind of wanted to jump into that as soon as we got onto fast markets this morning, but I didn't have that opportunity just because it came in a little bit later. I also marked off the ES, where if we broke over our highs there at 5213, I marked these little squares. I'm trying to get out of the way so you can see them. And we can see the ES went through the target. I also marked off M2K, and same thing, that my targets were 2056, 2059 from a break of 2050. And then the final one was the Dow. And these were all plotted here. This was breaking of 38815, and my target area was 62 to 87, somewhere in there. It's not I'm not like keep a tick on these. Eyeballing 15-minute chart. We're going to take our time. I'm just going to wait for the next round to go. And I have some targets down below. I'll just shrink those down. We can see those down there. We'll go through that in a moment. But there's my screen. I got it all set up. I have my charts linked all 15 minutes. I have my order panels linked on one side. We're starting fresh, 50K combine, only trading micros, just like an XFA, pretending it's getting funded, and we'll keep you posted.
Dude, I love it, Robert. Nice. So everyone, we're going to follow Robert's journey as he starts a brand new, fresh combine, Eddie. This is going to be really fun to watch, and keep us posted, and we'll monitor you throughout the day and the next couple of days and weeks, Robert. However long it takes you, let's all be supportive of Robert, help him point out some good trades, good levels. Eddie, man, let's do this.
All right.
Way off my comfort zone, so go ahead. Nice job.
Thanks, Robert. Instagram. Do you got Instagram? If you don't, and you like what we're doing, and you want to keep up with the coolness of the Topstep TV crew, we're always posting some really neat stuff on there. So if we can post that Instagram link, if you're not, we're going to drop and pin it in the link. Instagram. Join us. Lots of videos. And if you want to keep up with MP, Mike Patak, he does a lot of that. Also, did you know that you can submit a request to have a new feature added to Topstep X? Right? You can click on the question mark. If you look on your platform, you got Topstep X. It's all the way to the left. There's a question mark there. Click on that, the icon on the left-hand side of the platform, and you'll see what other suggestions have been made. You can make your own suggestion. You can vote on others. Sort of like a Reddit thing where you can upvote stuff, and you can have a new Topstep roadmap and change log. So there you have it, and have at it. Let's hear what you got. We're always open for suggestions. Back to you, Mr. Andre.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. So Eddie's up a couple pennies today, a couple bucks in the gold up there. I think what do we got, Chet? Yeah, $772 in your combine. Eddie, tell us about your journey in the combine right now. How close are you to passing it and sticking with gold here?
Well, that was my Express account. I saw some opportunity.
Nice.
Added some money to that. My 50K right now, I'm doing a 50K combine and 150K XFA. Right now, I'm almost about, I'm going to say on the 50K, I just put it up, another G and I passed the 50K. So I'm going very slow. I'm taking $200 winners, $150 winners, $300 winners, and I'm being very happy with that.
I like that.
I've tried to eliminate greed out of the possibility at all. And I tell you, yesterday with you guys trading Power Hour, I had to duct tape my hand to my back because I wanted to play with you guys. You know, I'm like the kid that's sick looking out the window watching you guys have fun outside. But I didn't, and I was very happy that I didn't. But you know, the 50K, that'd probably be something that I'm going to be looking at here during this time right now to see if I can maybe add another 100, 300, 500. Now, remember, if I make $500, I'm content. That's my profit gain target, and I've got that target. If I make 500, that's my target, my goal, success, victory. No reason to try to risk anything else.
Right.
So that's my story, and like Robert says, I'm sticking to it, Your Honor.
Is that what Robert says? Robert, is that what you say? I'm sticking to it, Your Honor.
Not the Your Honor part, but
maybe because I was watching that Netflix about Gotti, John Gotti, the Teflon Don last night. There's a lot of court stuff going on there.
There is.
Yeah,
I like being in
bada
court.
bing, bada bang.
Yeah, that was good stuff. All right, D, how's the tussle with gold going over there?
I'm flat at the moment, so pulled a little bit back. So pulled 300 back. So still waiting for it because it kind of consolidated at these levels. I'm looking at this order at they keep moving it. There's an order of 275, 200. Like there's a bigger order on the Dell, and
pull it up
here. Keep sort of
what price? What price again, D?
Yeah, I'm looking at a micro chart, but I'm also looking at trying to match that with the main thing. So they keep bouncing it from about 70, and then it sort of moves to 71.50. So at the moment it's 71.50. So obviously I've decided to lower the position size. So obviously, I'm trying to control risk and use a little bit of room here. But yeah, it's interesting that they just gotta keep bouncing it. So it's still consolidating in this area. So a short is still possibly in the cards.
Okay. See what you see.
And now I'm seeing it at they keep bloody bouncing it. It's quite so I just wonder whether there's somebody spoofing here.
Yep.
And whether they're just going to use it as a springboard. So in that case, it's going to be a PCP, you know, just close your eyes, click and buy. Yeah. But time needs to go by. So the longer that we stay in sort of like the same area that we've established about 45 minutes ago, the less likelihood of a pullback. And we do have a neutral day. The reason why I'm doing this trade is not like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be a contrarian. We have a neutral day type now. So we've extended the initial balance to both sides. Generally, that doesn't, and you know, the initial balance is massive. That doesn't really speak well to like trending days and continuation days. Nothing is impossible because we do have the CPI that came out. But usually when you see this sort of situation, there's a bit of an elastic band effect where they just stretch it to both ends and then they just come back to the middle. So that's what I'm looking for here. But I just want some lower lows to start appearing. And I want this whole formation that we're at to roll over and to start, you know, making a decision and a resolution. But we definitely have a little bit of price agreement at these levels. So we're going to see what happens. I am watching it. And depending on which side they break and hold, that's going to be the trade direction at this point.
Very good. We are starting to see a bit of a pullback here in the equities, specifically S&Ps and NASDAQ. S&Ps just pulled back right to VWAP. For those that maybe want to continue to get on the long, this might be your pullback to get in. S&P or NASDAQ broke beneath VWAP, and we are starting to see some sellers, some follow through there. Crude just kind of chilling out, not doing a whole lot after that EIA number. Gold, like saying, see upticks. Take a look at the YM here. Well, I finally did get to VWAP, and it's just kind of gravitating magnet to that. Robert, you're looking in the micros. Anything piquing your interest? Any kind of setups that you're looking to or trades to take based on some setups there, Robert?
Yeah, actually, I just plotted 2 new targets, and you said YM, so I moved over to the YM. And just to let you know, since we already broke through that one target area, if we break over 3.8, let's call it 888, 38888, my target is going to be 951 to 81, somewhere there. So it's a 30 point area in there. It's just a target zone. If it gets close, gets around there, I'm just going to take the profit. It's a 50K combine. I'm only looking for a couple $100, trading a contract here, contract there. And if it's moving, I'll put 2 on 1 and we'll see what happens. But that's the new target that I have for YM. Everybody's watching that.
Very good. Thank you, Robert.
It's going to be rough. This is the challenge for me, guys. This is, it's really something. I'm not a time-based chart trader. I'm not generally on the ES or MES or the M2K, which is the micro version of the Russell 2000. Don't really trade those. Don't really trade time charts. 2 contracts at a time, one elsewhere on 15 minutes on TopstepX. Hey, it's a challenge, man. It's going to be really tough for me, but we got to make rules.
And you're doing it on live television. All the best to you, Robert. Good job.
That's all I'm going to do. Yeah, we're going to do it right here. So
I love it.
We'll see.
You got this,
Robert. I was going to say on my 150K account, when I first got it, I dug myself a huge hole. Greed came in, and then I panicked, and I fell into all these things that I try to preach to help traders, and I'm like, man, you just effed everything up. And then what I needed to do is I just dug myself out bit by bit by bit until I got back to zero, flat, and then took a little break. Well, obviously I had last week off, but the thing is, you've just got to add slowly, develop. All right, you've got to build a foundation. You got to build a safety net before you start really hitting that gas pedal. And that's what I did. I want to make sure that I've got that safety net in case I have another bad trade day. And things are working out, and I'm very content where I am right now. So challenge yourself, like Robert's doing. Challenge yourself.
Yes. Hoop says, test your comfort zone, Robert. I agree. I think that's exactly what Robert's doing right now on television. I know Eddie followed Eddie through a combine journey as well. Dolby as well. So this is going to be really cool. So let's be there for positive vibes only here in the chat, on TV, watching Robert navigate a fresh combine here for everyone to watch. We are starting to see some volatility pick up here in the S&Ps and NASDAQ. Dow dip beneath VWAP there. Crude not doing a whole hell of a lot just yet. More sellers in the NASDAQ.
I was expecting gasoline futures to be a little bit more bouncy, but they're kind of doing the same thing that crude oil is doing, but just vastly exaggerated range. So if I put them side by side for a second, I've got another short in gold now, and let's see whether we can finally.
I'm with you on that. I've gone short also here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go, guys.
$100.
Yeah. I would like to see a bigger chunk of this move because we've stayed here for a while. And like Dolby says, you can't stay in the range forever. It has to resolve to one side or the other. But if we look at crude oil, don't know whether we've got my chart. So I've got on the left, I've got crude oil. On the right, I've got gasoline futures. If you can see, the price action is pretty much like identical. But crude oil, this whole move is only 120 ticks. And gasoline futures, this whole move is 362 ticks. So it's kind of doing the same thing, but we'll see whether we can get something out of these inventories at some point today. So far, it's a storm in a teacup, just like most inventories are. So it is within the statistical research and data that I've done over the years. And that means just patience. You're just waiting for the day to develop a bit more, to give you some obvious levels rather than just spiky after effect price action that can be quite unfavorable because, you would need very, very big stop losses to catch either one of these huge spikes, unless you're a scalper, which I'm not. So I'm going to wait for a bigger opportunity. I do have some levels in gasoline and in crude oil because, again, it's a similar market. I do have a level of 2.7166 in gasoline futures, which is the average session range low. And similarly in crude oil, that same level is at 84.70. So those are some areas to pay attention to. One thing to keep in mind with crude oil, on the daily chart, we seem to be rolling over. So we've definitely spent a few days in this area, and now we have this bearish engulfing pattern, if you want to call it. Now, bearish engulfing, bullish engulfing, they are effectively beginnings of a new either supply or demand. So this is supply because there's some sellers here. And whenever this happens, I'm a bit careful with longs if I want to catch those big moves, because this could be a start of a pullback, a more serious pullback. And in an intraday plan, I really need to make sure that I account for that and to not just go into longs right at the point where the market rolled over, because that's a very, very bad trade location for going into them. So if I were to long into 85.85, it's not a very good idea. Because what can happen is what we see today. Even though you might get some kind of a trend up on the day, it's better to catch it maybe lower. But whenever I see this market pausing, we have a couple of days of a bracket on the value area, which means the value areas have started to overlap. It means that for the last couple of days, they haven't actually moved it to any new levels. And that can be a sign of sentiment change. So all of that is making me super cautious on both crude oil and gasoline. Whereas, gold looks pretty clean. It's moving up and down nicely. And for me, it's looking like it's going to offer us more opportunities. So we'll see. But I am going to close this trade now because I am trying to get some of the profits back that I had earlier. So I'm just going to take that. All right, so that's another 150 there. So I'm 450 up again.
Nice. There you go.
But we'll see, whether we have, a bigger move away from here. I might pop in another trade if things like settle down, maybe for lunchtime. Sometimes gold likes to do similar things to platinum, where it goes into that day range fill as a profit-taking move for lunchtime. In some cases, gold is like quite early to that party. And if you look at crude oil, it sort of does the same thing, but it does it an hour later. So that's just something to keep in mind with these markets. So for now, again, this short gold still looks valid to me, but it might be a bit, too slow for this time of day. So they might want to wait until lunchtime, and then when they start going out to lunch, they start clipping their positions, and that's what gives it that, take profit move. So I'm going to look for that as my next trade, possibly, unless something else like really obvious pops up. So we're observing, we're tracking, but yeah, a little bit patchy today. Mixed pickle.
Mixed pickle.
Mixed pickle trading today.
Mixed pickle, eh? Okay.
Yeah. But we're flipping and flopping, so it's all right.
Absolutely.
I do need to sort myself out with not holding trades, the ones that I'm supposed to be holding. So that is just like a mindset thing that I have to work on after being scarred from crude oil not going anywhere. But that's very specific to me at this point. And again, it happens to everyone. You're going to run into slower markets; they affect you mentally, and then you kind of move into a faster market, and suddenly you're doing the same thing. You're looking for base hits when you should be looking for bigger moves, and vice versa. So, yeah, let's see if we can correct that going forward. But yeah, all good.
Base hits, Deanna. You follow baseball, I take it then.
Everybody over on your side of the world follows.
Yes, they do.
Follows baseball, so I kind of adopt.
I got you. I know. I was saying base hits. Yes, base hits is the name of the game, I guess. To use the baseball analogy, base hits keeps you alive. All right, Eddie. I heard you take a trade over there while Dee was talking. How's it going in gold?
Checking gold here right now. I am short. Market's got some buyers in here. I'm short at 23.64.50. Did have a scalp here up 423 on the day, but I'm probably going to get stopped out here any second, and not going to look good here. But I'll be back to flat, and I have gotten stopped out. So there you have it.
So
and,
also mixed pickle.
And also mixed pickle. Stop.
Yeah, there you go.
We jumped into a short here along that. Eddie jumped in as well. Okay, there's my chart. It's on YM. The entry, it's a single micro contract. The entry is 18144.25. Reason behind this is we just kind of breaking that structure right there. It's at the bottom of the range. Now I'm like Dobie, like I typically, this is the bottom of the range. I like to say, hold on a second, it's been bouncing back and forth. Let's try to get that bounce. If it continues down, you just get stopped out. This one, I'm actually going for the continuation down below. If it breaks below the yesterday's low price, which it stayed below 18,160 roughly. And we'll see. I have my target down below. I have my stop up above. Doesn't mean I'm going to let them wait until it goes all the way to my stop. If it just looks like it's turning around on me with other news comes in the market or other information, we'll just get out of it. But if it goes towards my profit target and starts to slow down or starts showing signs of weakness, we're going to get out of it as well. So we'll see. We'll see what this is going to happen. I'll keep an eye on something else and see if we're going to jump on board elsewhere.
I like that.
Right,
I like
so
that.
we're talking micros. Why don't I use my new XFA? So I've got a short now on just 2 micros. Since we have micros, let's make use of them.
Let's do it.
So, like I said, I had a hypo that we might roll over here. So I'm just doing like 2 micros gold on my XFA, and if this does work, I'm going to keep it as a little swing trade down. So let's see if we can put a little bit of money where the mouth is.
Taking a little dive here in gold.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, that's the move that I was looking for, but I was too twitchy to hold that in
Oil
with any
selling off
larger
as well.
positions.
Yeah.
I'm selling off. Yields going higher.
Nice.
10-year trade for 4.5% right now. So you are seeing uptick in yields. Shout out to Hoop for alerting us to that. But yes, Eddie, gold and oil selling off. See if the relationship does form with or correlation does.
It's Hogue.
What's up?
Just want to point out we have failed upside auctions in the equities.
Okay. Thank you,
Just popping in to say that. Trade well.
Okay.
Well, that helps with the shorts.
Thanks,
I get shorts. Like to see that. And yeah, we're starting to see that. And maybe perhaps same with gold. Failed upside auctions. We're starting to see sell off there.
We had the failed auction that was to the downside, so that one failed in gold, which was my first trade, and I should have kept it for a much bigger chunk, but I didn't. So here we are, and now this is more a neutral day. You can't really have the auction failing on both sides. When we have a neutral day, that's just a neutral day. So the elastic band is working its way.
I see.
What's the difference? Well, the difference is between the target expectation. So failed auction, when it fails, you can expect it to run all the way to the opposite side of the initial balance. But when you have a neutral day type, so we had a failed auction, went all the way to the other side, popped the initial balance to the other side, and then started selling off like we have in gold. Really, you can expect it to get to the middle of that range. Anything more, it's statistically a little bit sketchy, but that mean reversion to the middle, that's actually a really nice way to do things. So that's it's kind of like a mean reversion on a range bound trade. But it's such a big range here that we have a nice opportunity for quite a few ticks here. So yeah, I just wanted to delineate those 2 setups.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for sharing
yes,
that.
we're trading beneath $85 here in crude. 84. I did see something here about tilt. Something caught my eye. Yes, there it is. 78% short in gold. So those that are getting with momentum, hopefully capture some of those profits. Let's move to the downside in gold. Oh, now up to 85% short in gold. So that number is really picking up as we continue to sell off in GC. So ours are coming 86%. All right, so we are growing now as the market goes lower, congruent with market direction, as John would say. I did forget to ask him what Delta was, but maybe we can catch up with him in a little bit after that update with the failed upside auction in equities. See how that plays out.
I got a nice little run here with this downside gold.
Eddie loves the momentum. Eddie loves the momentum.
We all do.
Yes.
Moving. Yeah, I'm done for the day here, I think.
Okay.
Now it's taking a bounce off that bottom, so I'm like, it was going short on that. Big bounce.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, this is painful.
What's up, Robert? What's up, Robert? You're watching that? Are you watching unrealized fluctuate? What's going on, Robert?
Oh, the unrealized doesn't bother me. But the unrealized doesn't bother me like one little bit because that's kind of how it goes like sometimes.
Yep.
But I'm just like my hands are sweating because I'm just like I want to get out. I just want to like I want to get in. I want to get out. I want to get in. So this is a test in patience right here. So I am looking at that MNQ again. It does look like it's actually just bouncing up and down. I did see, hooray! I saw green P&L unrealized. It was $1.50. Nice. So, but now it's minus 30. But hey, it's gonna be this is gonna be a test of will.
I love it. Discipline challenge, Robert. Yes, that's what Dolby says here in the chat. Agree. This is something new, fresh for Robert. It's a cool experience. So let's watch how this plays out and follow him on his journey. But yeah, it's definitely it's gonna be tricky here, Robert. But hang in there, man. You got this. So Eddie, are you locked in the profits? You're good for the day. You said. I think you're up about $800 or so.
Up 819 here in my 50K combine. That's a great day. I'm exceeded my expectations. Now we got the sellers back again here in gold. I mean, gold's given me a very good opportunity for scalping. Take a little heat, wipe the brow. I did take some losers here today, but obviously the winners more than the losers. And I've been very lucky as far as market movement today, considering, what we've had earlier with the numbers coming out and so forth. And, we're still not done. We got the minutes from the FOMC coming up, and there's going to be a lot more opportunity. The blender has not been put away yet. Barkin's going to be speaking 11:45. We've got the 10-year note at 12 o'clock. You never know what's going to happen there.
Nope.
So, I mean, today is a very good day. If you are in a hole, okay, management, all right, step by step. If you're in a hole, don't be swinging for the fence to get out of that hole, all right? $50 is $50. $100 winner, $200 winner. It's going to help you get back to flat, and that should be your first target. If you are in the hole, don't be looking to get positive. Look to get that day back to zero. And then take a time out, take a breather, go get yourself a Jameson's on the rocks, whatever, Jack and Coke. Take a hit off the bong, whatever.
Drinking
take
and
a walk
trading.
around the block.
Drinking and trading, don't do it.
Yes, and there goes crude again. Here, crude just dumped.
Crude selling off. Gold selling off here. A little bit.
Yeah. As we speak. Yes, a ham sandwich, Johnny. Get yourself a ham sandwich. And come back and trade.
Oh boy.
If you're in money today,
we need some cheers. Cheers in the chat. We need the MNQ to drop. Let's get some cheers in the chat. We're seeing $2 on our P&L now, so we're gonna come on. Let's get the chat going. It's like down.
That is once again rooting against America.
Yes,
you don't tolerate that here. No.
Yes.
Correct. You are rooting against America.
Our finest, America's finest contributions to the world, including Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's my cue. I'm out.
Gold can still seeing some sellers here. Oil's seeing sellers just off the lows. Finally, the gold or oil responded to miss in inventories. I don't know what takes so long over there, Deanna. That market has been a bit confusing lately.
I think it's just all the geopolitical uncertainties around it, and they've just kept it really bound. I mean, everyone's worried about higher inflation. Everyone's worried about the Middle East conflict. Nobody wants to see the oil prices shoot up, but there is a positive correlation between higher inflation and crude oil, so it's all just a little bit unfavorable for crude oil at the moment. And I think this is why they've kept it range bound somewhat. On an intraday level, you can have a trend that's kind of creeping up over a number of days, but that doesn't mean that it's conducive to intraday traders who are looking for nice big momentums like we have in gold. It's, without momentum, it just becomes very, very difficult to trade anything. Even if you're a scalper, you still need some momentum to bring it away from certain levels. And if you never get that, it's always so challenging. And it's almost like a test of your patience and discipline. And at some point, it gets annoying. It's an inexhaustible resource to kind of keep showing up every day. It's like, and at that point, you need to just move on to something else for a while. And that's why I have probably about 4 or 5 markets that I'm looking at. I mean, this morning I traded DAX on my private account. Beautiful value acceptance. Did around a little bit and then just shut up. So it was like completely drama free. But unfortunately, sometimes we have moments, especially like summertime, when things slow down. But if you can't kind of assume the seasonality effect, then it gets very difficult to just keep sticking with a product that is not moving. And that's one of the reasons why I moved away completely from Forex after like a year of waiting for it to go back to the old ranges. Well, I've learned my lesson from 2012, where if something doesn't move for a couple of months, I just move on. So I'm just like, no, I'm not going to be doing this to myself. And luckily, like I said, we have chat on our side. So somebody suggested, hey, have you seen gasoline? And I'm like, oh, yeah, actually. So I looked at it and I'm like, wow, this looks really good. So I ran my statistical tests over it. I probably spent about a week kind of just doing some combines to like get some feel for it. And sure enough, now I have basically 3 XFAs trading platinum, gasoline futures, and gold, bizarrely. So here we are. Gold is always in my list of tradable instruments. But sometimes you need a little bit more variety rather than getting like locked into just one single market. At least I do. So, yeah.
Well, S&Ps did soft. Yeah. S&Ps did soft to about 5,200s. Caught a bit of a bounce there. We'll see if it's dead cat or not.
There you go. So first day of my XFA. This is the new XFA on Topstep X. $109.
Hey,
it's a
start somewhere.
Not bad for first day.
Yeah.
It's only a 50K, so yeah, we have to be a little bit careful there.
What size XFA is that, D?
It's 50K. This is why I'm being super careful on the first day to not go putting myself into a $600 hole by trying to do 2-3 trades on one full. No, I've seen that so many times. We've got the coaching side, and people are like, "I've got an XFA," and that first day I'm down 700, and I'm like, why?
Oh, here we go.
I traded the full contracts. It's like, well, why did you trade full contracts? Like, what happened there? Oh, I was really excited, and I get it. It's exciting, Yes, it's excitement. And what happens with your dopamine is that you get an injection of dopamine, which is a pleasure chemical. So it increases your productivity and motivation. You want to trade more. It's exciting. It's a new account. You want to get your paws on it. But unfortunately, that's not the right way to do things. So we've all learned the hard way not to do that in our, accounts that matter effectively. So again, 50K, I wanted, to have something that's pretty achievable. And actually, I broke my own record because usually it takes me about 6 days to 10 days to pass a 50K. But this time around, I passed one in 3 days and the other 2 in 4 days, which I've never done before. And I didn't trade large. Like, I was literally trading really, really just, mindful. I actually use micros on a lot of it. And I use cheap products like gasoline and platinum. So, there's something to say about giving yourself more room and more time to maybe read the market and then get with it and just, kill it by the end of the day. So it might be a slow start, but then once you're in sync with what's going on, we have more data. It's so much easier to trade from like that emotional standpoint where you don't have the daily loss limit like hanging over your head. You're like, oh no, oh no, oh no. You just gotta relax. You focus on ticks. You don't look at anything else. You don't trade large. Build up a nice buffer and just carry on. It's so much less stress. No drama.
Deanna, a lot of the traders that I've talked to, I mean, it's a lot of work to get to a XFA. And there's been many that I've talked to that have blown it that day. And like you said,
Yeah,
we get
same day.
excited, we get stoked. We're like,
Yeah.
all right, now, let me take out the home run.
Let's go.
But
Yeah.
no, exactly. We're talking about this. Build a foundation, build that safety net.
Mhm.
$109, it's a great start. Okay, it's a great start. You're building something where, you know, maybe you put another $200 winner on, and then
Yeah.
you back off, because what
And
you're
then
doing is
suddenly you're like, oh, 100. Oh, now you got another 200 winner. So now this is a $300 day. It's like, oh, okay. So that matters. But, you know,
Right.
going in, pull porking it on the first day, just don't do it. It's not worth it.
That's what I did with the 150K. And boy, I was kicking myself in the junk all night long.
Yeah.
What did you do? Why did
Yeah.
you do that? Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
It took a
Exactly.
We
while.
got a little, yeah, a
Still
little change
selling.
in sentiment here for this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's selling off a little bit. The MNQ, that trade I was in, still in it, still holding on to that one micro short. But what just happened with me that's making me rethink and reconsider, you know, the structure changed a little bit. One of my rules is if the market's trading around the point of control, it's been a bad thing for me. MES, MYM, and M2K were all trading around the point of control. MNQ was not at the time. However, I just went and the next candle, 15-minute candle closed, and the point of control jumped right down to my price trading area. So I'm going to let this go either a little bit in my negative or a little bit in my profit. I'm going to take it because it's like I'm cutting out early. So I got to follow that. I don't want this thing bouncing around for the next 2.5 hours on point of control. So just a market change up. So if somebody sees you were going for $100 and you close out at 15 or 20, that's why, because the sentiment change. This is my OODA. This is my OODA loop. OODA.
OODA loops, they're awesome. As long as you can keep objectivity throughout, it's amazing, because it's like like I said, I put that in my course like back in 2018 in the first iteration of the course, and it's a true game changer, because suddenly you're gluing yourself away from the bias of the actual trade. Like John says, you don't get any smarter once you're in a trade. But, you know, having said that, yes, that's definitely true. But you can train yourself to be more objective by focusing on what's going on around it. Like Robert said, oh, yeah, it's around point of control. From experience, I know that's not a great thing. So therefore, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to modify my profit expectations, right? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about FOMO or going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm in profit. Oh, I need to take some profit. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, okay, what is going on? What's the profile doing? Where are we? What's your orientation point? How far away are we from it? How much did it drop or rise to that next orientation point? What is the next problem area? So once you start looking at that, things become a little bit clearer. It's not always easy, obviously. I mean, trading is exceptionally difficult, but at the same time, there are ways to just deliberately practice that objectivity, and that's the OODA loops. So let's use them, right?
That's exactly right. You don't get any smarter when you're in the trade, but you do get more information. So I guess it contributes to a little. You don't get that, but yeah.
I know. All right, guys, real quick, we did see the sell-off in the equities and kind of chopping around sideways right now. Gold as well, kind of seeing a bit of a bounce. Oil as well. So while we see how this digests and plays itself out, let's go to Jack with the top 10 leaderboard. Jack, what are we looking at for today? I heard we're going to see some similar names from our earlier today and yesterday.
Yeah, JD's on special assignment, so I'll take care of these here. Let's take a look at 5 through 10 real quick, shall we?
Okay.
All right, Dylan's hanging in there. He's in 6th place yesterday, but dropped the 10th after taking a 5K drawdown. Isaac took a $3,500 drawdown, the drop from 5th to 8th. Sama is back in the top 10. Hasn't been out of the top 25 in a while. He's up from 14th place yesterday. And are you ready for the moment?
Eddie.
Here we go.
Hit him. Snare.
I'm going to wait for the eagle scream or something. No.
Homer.
Here we go. Here's the top 5.
Hey.
Wow, look, he did it.
Yeah.
The man.
My goodness.
Nice one.
The myth. The legendary, the Utah slow trader, Dakota.
Yep.
Is at the top of the list. He's the first 6-figure live funded trader at Topstep. #1 in the program, as JD's note says, #1 in our hearts. MD's new to the list. Moved from 30 to 5th after 25 grand and 2 XFAs yesterday.
Wow.
Pin took a $3,000 drawdown, but he still held on to 4th place. And Raj had a tough day yesterday with a $9,000 drawdown across 3 XFAs. So that is how Dakota came to the top of the list.
Wow.
Congratulations, Dakota. Shine on, you crazy diamond.
Props to Captain Turtle.
Low and steady wins the race. Yeah.
Yes, it
Nice
does.
work.
Yeah.
Well done, Dakota.
Job.
Now I know why he sleeps when he puts a trade on.
Right.
Yeah.
There he is in the chat. I'd like to take this moment and say, of course. He couldn't help himself.
It's a new spin on make money while sleeping. Yeah.
I like it. It's the name of the game. Shout out to Dakota. Well done. I don't take mediocre trades. Yes, that was his quote from Power Hour yesterday. Can't make this stuff.
That's
Apparently,
amazing.
he's not. He means it. He means it. What's up, Marco? I see you. All right, guys. Well, markets are trading a bit sideways.
Yeah, I don't really see much else
That's
here
okay.
at the moment. Yeah. And I am looking. I've done a lot of
Morgan
looking.
Stanley here. Hiking NVIDIA price targets to $1,000. They're always trying to just jump over one another to keep raising that price target. NVIDIA, of course, still has some work to do to get to that $1,000. But Morgan Stanley, thank you very much. Hiking that price target to $1,000.
Jeff says, Coach Dakota, your gold short worked again this AM, same level. So
Wow.
I didn't know Dakota was trading gold. Well, we'll ask him.
Yeah, I think he traded gold overnight. Yeah.
Overnight. There you go. You know what, too? I looked at that when I came in this morning, and off those highs, it just sort of stairwayed down to the lows. It was, I mean, it wasn't a quick run, but it took a little time, and yes, it did. And I saw them like, oh boy, let's see if we can get this back. Great trading. G-Man, first payout ever. Good job.
We have a yawn
Nice
emoji.
one. Big threshold there.
Yeah, when these markets go, I mean, you would have thought there'd be some more fireworks today after that CPI number, but besides that big sell-off, we haven't seen. I mean, we have seen some movement. Yeah. You know, Deanna, I was going to ask you. You say you're not a scalper, right? How?
Yeah.
How can you not be a scalper in this type of market conditions where we don't have trends aren't forming? It's a bit choppy, range bound. You know, the time frames on the trades are going to be shorter, just as a function of market conditions. No.
So let me just define what I mean by scalping. So it's not that I don't take trades that only last like 5-10 minutes. To me, a scalp is when you only grab like 10 ticks, 15 ticks. I don't do that. Like even my scalps are 30 to 50 ticks. So you've seen today, I was like up 390, down to 0, up 200, then up, you know, it's like, it's all in the span of like sort of 30 to 50 ticks. And that's what I mean. I'm not a scalper. I look for big orientation points. I don't need trend for that necessarily because I'm actually a contrarian trader. So I like to fade the moves, and that's where I've made most of my money. So with the with any kind of a market, there's always opportunity for both sides. You don't need something to just keep going in one direction. I actually find those days a bit challenging because you find that the trade locations run away from you. And then I would typically like to see maybe a test of a single print or something, and then again fade the pullback. So it's a directional trade, but with a pullback. But if we just have like one-sided move that just keeps going and going and going, I'm not terribly good at making those work for me. So what I do instead, I look for extremes of the ranges, right? This is where my levels like average session low, average daily range high, the supply and demand on larger time frames like 4 hours in demands, that's where they come into play. Because by the time that the market falls or rises to those levels, there's a bit of an exhaustion intraday. At some point, whoever was buying or selling on the way up or down, they have to take some profits. Right. And that's what gives me the opportunity to run the trades that you see me do here. So these bigger opportunities like a failed auction. So the failed auction is effectively a fade of whatever move came before. And then you just fade it all the way back to where it came from. It's beautiful. Like it's one of my favorite setups ever. And then with the neutral days, like we had on gold, so this trade that I took, it's like it exhausts the move, and then it starts to consolidate, and then it falls out of bed. So same thing. So I'm looking for the extremes. I'm effectively a fade the move type of trader.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I try to do a directional move, I'm just like, oh God, where do I, now what? And I don't like it, but I'm naturally a contrarian. I'm a left-handed person, and it just kind of fits in with my personality and everything. And I'm very, very comfortable taking those cheap trades. But I define the cheap trades to some more systematic levels, and then I combine all of that with intraday sentiment and with a profile, and it just works. I just have to hold on to them.
Like, right, I know, right?
Another problem. Yeah.
We got some buyers coming back here in crude.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So gasoline futures did do a failed auction, but I don't have that on Topstep just yet. I know it's coming, and I'm still waiting for the other two. So I had to sit that one out, but I was stalking that earlier because again, inside open, didn't really do anything with the auction, and then came right back to close inside the initial balance. So yeah, that was an opportunity, but again, I can't at the moment. I can't take that. So it's a shame, but hey ho, it is what it is.
Well,
we also had buyers coming in. We always had buyers coming in, then jump over that, Andre. Buyers coming in the NASDAQ, also MNQ. That did get stopped out, $52 loss. And just as we suspect, now it's pushing higher and higher and higher. So I'm glad I changed that hypothesis and said, hold on a second, point of control, jump down. It's either going to go up. I move my target and stop significantly closer, thinking if it's going to go, it's going to push through. I'm just going to get the hell out of this thing. And that's exactly what happened. So we'll see if the next one comes around.
I like that.
I like that. At work. Yeah.
Yes, we are seeing buyers. Gold. We got gold, oil, S&Ps, and NASDAQ. When it sells off, they're all kind of trading hand in hand right now. I'm not sure if there's any it's coincidence or correlation at this point, but it's just something noticing. We'll keep track as the day goes on here. I can't necessarily say that there is a correlation just yet, but just looking at the charts, they are looking somewhat similar, which is interesting.
One thing that I've noticed, just statistically, in the last 3-4 years since we had the COVID lockdowns, is that the longer the day goes on, the main asset classes align on a lot of the days. So by the end of the day, everything, gold, crude oil, S&P, it's all trading in the same direction. It's the most bizarre thing. I've never seen that in like ever. It's like the first time we have that. Yeah, I don't know why. But yeah, there's definitely positive correlation across multiple asset classes.
Interesting.
Maybe it's Bitcoin. I don't know.
Eddie, what'd you have over there, Eddie?
Andre, we talked about this yesterday, and the market sort of died off, and we were wondering. And then we had that big break in the day, and it's like, what happened? Let's look at the news. What's going on? Nothing coming over the wire. And I chimed in with Jamie over at Juice, and he mentioned CPI. People just setting up for CPI. And I think that's what we're seeing today. We're getting some action today in some of these markets. And like I said before, I mean, there's still some very important things to hit the wire yet. So, I mean, if we have a lull, make yourself a ham sandwich.
Yes.
Like Hogue says. But I'm going to, I'm going to ask can we do a poll? I'm up on both my accounts, 50K Combine and the 150K XFA. Should I lock them in today? Can we get a poll on that? Yes. Should I lock both those in, lock them out so I can't trade anymore? See if we can get a poll here. Don't spam the chat. We'll see if we can get
they're going to.
I know how it goes. Wait, Cliff is in there. Lock it in, Eddie.
There you go.
Can get a poll.
What's your P&L for the day?
P&L, let's see here. I've got a 50K, I'm up 819. And the 150K Express, I'm up 772.
Okay. Are you happy with that?
It's past my expectations,
Lock it up, man.
Okay, lock it up.
Yeah.
Mark says, keep trading. The day is good for you.
I was just gonna say the same thing, Deanna. Just lock it up. That's a really good day. And I ironically was doing my Hogue impression. My mute button was on. So
Oh no! Oh. Let's hear
All right,
it.
I'm gonna lock.
That's my vote.
By clicking below, you will be locked out from trading anymore until the next market open. The next session is today at 5 o'clock. All right, lock it out. I'm locked.
Nice.
Right. Express funded is locked, and my 50K. And I'm very happy here today about that.
Oh yeah.
I can do
Good trading.
that well. There it is. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lock. Nathan says lock it up and throw away the key. Well, I got to trade tomorrow, man.
Yeah, don't throw away the key.
Don't throw away the key, or you'll need that at some point.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm locked now. Thanks, Jack. Anyway, that's okay.
All good. Yes. All right, Eddie. You locked up. You locked in both profits, both accounts there.
I'm done. Yes. And I thank the I thank my friends here. I thank our Topstep team, and definitely I thank our community making the right decision and moving me forward.
Hey, we got 3,000 people. You know? Hey, we got 3,000 people watching right now. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. We are on the march to 80,000 subscribers. It feels just like yesterday that we got through 75,000 subscribers, and we're closing in on 80,000 subscribers on the march to 100,000 subscribers. I don't know that we have anything in store for 80,000 just yet, but you know how we are here at Topstep TV.
We'll see.
Across these milestones, we are always going to do something.
We had 25,000 in September when we started.
Yeah.
So at this rate, every single person on Earth will be subscribed to our channel by like 5 years from now.
That's insane.
There you go.
I know. We need population growth to continue.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking.
I'm sure
everybody.
MP will be very happy with that progress. That's amazing. That's amazing.
No,
I mean, what a huge jump, guys! What a huge jump. That's crazy.
If we got every person on Earth signed up, MP would be like, you know, what are we doing next? Why aren't we exploring other galaxies? Like, where's intelligent life? We got to innovate.
Yeah.
What about
he'll be
Mars?
like Elon Musk. Yeah, he'll be Elon Musk. Yeah, let's get aliens to do combines.
Yeah, I know.
It's Ferengi. Somebody in the chat the other day, because we were talking about adding new products to Topstep X, and somebody said, well, the next product to add is gold pressed platinum. Now, I don't know how many of you are Star Trek fans, but that's like the main currency. It's gold pressed platinum.
Let's
so
trade
that's
it up.
the main currency of the Star Trek universe. And you have this race called Ferengi that are kind of like the merchants of the galaxy. And they're a bit sleazy and salesy, you know, kind of like your Forex gurus with Lambos. That's the Ferengi. You know, always looking out for like new business opportunities and stuff. So yeah, I just found it funny that they were like, yeah, let's bring like gold pressed platinum as the next product, thinking about the future.
Like it.
You know what the thing is? I don't think they could trade the combine because they might be on the ineligible list.
Oh,
that's right.
Like, where's your citizenship? Oh,
well,
no. You got a bank account? Oh, no.
To my knowledge,
just minor details. Minor details.
None of those planets are on the list yet, so we'll see.
No, yeah, we got to watch that.
I know MP would work to get them on the list. We know that.
He did a spacesuit going to other planets.
He's the first person. Can you imagine MP being the first person to meet extraterrestrial life and what that would bode for the planet?
The aliens think that's what we're all like down here.
It would work.
That's where we're at.
Not a bad thing. Visionaries, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on? Yeah.
This is a fast.
You've got your beef with MP sometimes, Andre, but still.
Oh, welcome to planet Earth. All right, guys. Let's.
Oh, here we go. What's going on here? Talking about a combine, I think. My goodness.
Oh wow! Yeah, they're pitching on a
Catch a new message from space.
So it's called Topstep. Charles Lucas. Pretty good.
Nanu. Sounds like
So this is what happens on fast markets, huh?
I know, Robert. I know, man. Yesterday was a bit. I mean, there has been movement. It's just it's been choppy, range bound, but that's okay. Some people like this. Some people like this markets. Just because it's not for us here on TV, that doesn't mean you can't make money. Find a style, find market conditions that are suitable to yourselves. Here, we're seeing a bit of liquidity here in the S&P. It's been very thin. S&P's double digits on the bids and offers. You saw a 200 lot on the bid get gobbled up, 52.02. Trade 200 times on the bid side, but yes, markets have been thinned. So when you see thinner, D, I got a question for you. When you see thin markets, do you adjust your trading size appropriately, or do you stick to your size, regardless if the markets are thin or more liquid? Do you kind of throttle it up and down as you see as market conditions
if
kind
the
of present
markets
themselves?
it's more about the stop loss and position size for me. So if the market is very liquid and it's got like 400 ticks in it, I will scale my stop losses appropriately. And that means if I need to use a larger stop loss, well, you have to account for the slightly smaller position size as well. So that's how I approach it. Maybe other people might argue against that, but that's something that's worked for me because I feel like when I'm trading, I don't want to have my position being overly sensitive to the market movement. So if it's like wagging up and down, and I'm using a 30 tick stop, but I have a 400 tick range to play with, that's too small for me, and I feel like it just makes me a little bit more on edge, which then affects my decision making process. And because of that, I will widen my stop loss, lower my position size, but try to keep the loss per trade for like that disaster stop loss, if it just smacks you in the face without you being able to react beforehand, I will keep that very, very similar. So to within like 5 to 10% from position to position. And then, depending on how the liquidity goes, I might keep track of that every few weeks. It's not something that I look at every day. So I'm not going to be flipping through position sizes every single day, but it's a part of my weekly plan. So I'm like, okay, what is the average session range right now? What stop loss is required here? So this is the part where I'm a systematic trader. That's why I'm able to seamlessly move from market to market without too much pain. But having said that, I definitely have my preferences over which products I prefer to trade. And like I said it before, energies and precious metals, I really enjoy those markets. They definitely have my name all over them. And I kind of stick with them unless it's like the final hour, final sort of 30 minutes. And then I might pop in an equities trade, like usually an ES.
Right.
And I have traded the Dow as well, but I find the Dow was a little bit too small for me. So I wanted something that can bring me a little bit more profit per tick. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I decided to stick with ES because of that. So yeah. So that's my approach. And it does work pretty well. So have some sort of a volatility scaling system in mind, whether you use average true range or whether you divide the average session range by a particular number, that tends to give you that scalability. Something to keep in mind.
I appreciate that. Well said.
Good question.
Robert, we're on your combine journey here. Any trades?
Yeah, I'm still here.
What does that mean? What is that supposed to mean? I like the.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna make this one, but anyway, I'm gonna stick to it. I was looking at the Dow, to be honest. Let me clean up the screen a little bit and get these little alien people. I was just looking at it. I saw the sell. I hate to call it a sell, but I see the drop down after 38,740, and we see how it's falling down right now. I am not going to catch this. It's at with 38,677. There's on 4 minutes left of this candle here. On a 15-minute chart, I am not going to catch this for an attempted bounce to the other direction. That's not the plan that I want to use. I want this to pull back up a little bit, and then I will take it down into my next potential level when it crosses right around 38,636, and I'll take it somewhere around 38,566, something like that. So that's the plan for this one. And whether we make it or not in the next 15, 20 minutes or so, I don't know, but that's where I'm looking. And if I have the opportunity later on, during my lunch or whatever, if it actually does come down and hit that area, you can really trade when working the production. It's just super, super hard. You have to focus. But I will take that, and I'll just keep everybody updated as the progress goes on. So we'll see.
Nice.
Take a look at tilt. Nothing really showing on tilt. 60% longest or heaviest bias here. That would be in the YM short. 61% short as we are down ticking, like Robert just said. We are beneath 5,200 in the S&Ps. I know Hoop was pointing out that level, 5,200, big fat round number. We've been up and down through it, but as we've kind of stabilized here in the markets, we are trading beneath it. We'll see if we will stay. Maybe some buyers do come in. We will do see that tilt get a little heavy to the long side. If we don't go higher, it can happen. We can squeeze them. We did get a Delta update from John here a little bit ago. It was minus 2,000 in the ES, minus 1,600 in the NASDAQ about 11 minutes ago. So we'll see if that plays out. And that is congruent with market direction. We're starting to see some more sellers here in the S&Ps. Maybe it's leading the way. Dow also taking a look to the downside, as well as the NASDAQ. Delta, ES, there's mild, minus 3,600. Thank you, John. So as we continue to go lower, the Delta is growing. Negative, that is.
Hey, Andre.
Yes, sir.
We got this 12 o'clock Central Time 10-year note auction.
Yeah.
And we usually get these auctions, these note auctions at 12, and the 3-note, 5-note, and so forth. Do you remember what we did last time we had a 10-year? I know one of them sort of was a surprise,
Yes,
and the rest of them were sort of like just deflated.
The last one, I know what you're thinking about. I think you're thinking about two 10-year auctions ago, because the last one was kind of fell in line, but the one previous to that, it wasn't only the 10-year idea. I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the 2-year, the 5-year, and the 10-year. All that same week, they all came in out of line, and they were coming in. The bid to cover was coming in less than expected. Now, what that means is there's not as much demand for U.S. debt. For instance, for every $1 of U.S. debt offered, anything over 2 to 1, so to speak, it's called a 2 to 1 bid to cover. For every $1 offered, there's $2 worth being bid to purchase that debt. And the ones you're talking about, Eddie, is when these bid to covers are coming in less than 2.0, which, by all standards is considered pretty strong, pretty high demand. But when it comes in less than that, that kind of spooks the market, so to speak, U.S. equity, so to speak, because that's it's kind of the bloodline, it's kind of the lifeline of the economy here. As long as people are buying the United States' debt, everything's going to be working out okay. It's a well-oiled machine, so to speak. But once these debt auctions come in, less than expected, and demand starts to waver a bit, kind of spooks the market, and we'll see some movement to the downside. So that's why we always highlight these 2-year auctions, the 5-year, 10, 30-year as well. Rip speaks to it very well too, but that's why we keep an eye on this, Eddie. Thanks for bringing that up, and we will definitely highlight it at noon with whoever's on. But yeah, 2 auctions ago, we did see it come in less than expected, and we saw the market sell off quite aggressively. With where conditions are at, where inflation's at, maybe stronger dollar, perhaps. I wouldn't expect it to come in too poorly because yields are up. But if it does, look out. We will see some movement to the downside. Thanks for bringing that up, though, Eddie. Yeah, that's at noon today. 10-year auction.
I tell you, thanks for educating me and hopefully educating everybody else. I wasn't too informed on it. I knew what it was. I knew what it did. But thank you very much, Andre. And that'll be probably right before shoulder tap. If anything, I will be on here in the chat. I will make sure that we are reminded. So watch for my chats if we are in a break or so. But
good stuff.
I'll let you know on that. Thanks, Andre.
Yeah, man.
A lot.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Eddie. You make me look good on here, man. I appreciate that. I know a couple.
You were
things.
born that way. You were born that way.
It is 10:45 Central Time. We got about 12 minutes left here in fast markets. It started off kind of fast and it kind of chilled out a bit. We're kind of chilling right now. We are seeing nice little rebound here in crude trading right up to VWAP in the crude, but it is 10:45 Central. Let's go to the caption contest with Jack.
Yeah,
who knows where this is going to lead to?
People have been asking. No, this is just to show a couple of the results from the old one. Then we'll just give a new one out there. I think we might have already emailed the people that had the winning captions, but James, if you just want to throw up a couple of the examples of winners, not exhaustive. Some still won that were a bit inappropriate. But here's MP talking about corn, as he often does, to an interested party.
Yep.
Another one we like. This is my favorite. So anyways, I showed her my Costco card.
We're making memes around here.
And of course, still no Lambo.
Yeah.
He's been trading 20 years now and still no Lambo. So we'll see what happens there. And we'll post the form in the chat, but here's the next picture. We'll choose our favorite captions and give you some winners. Here's MP and our risk manager staring into the sun. Of course, because it's an eclipse. I think Mick has something in front of his face. That's not MP next to him. I don't know where MP is here, but
it's JD,
anyway,
isn't it? It looks like JD.
Oh, that is JD. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like JT. I was going to say, yeah.
Put some
And that
glasses
person
on,
in the
Speedy.
gray shirt is Christian Bale. No, I don't know. Looks like him from here.
So yeah, if you want to have some fun with that, post it in the forum. We'll give out resets to our favorites. That is all.
Good stuff.
Oh,
Some
cool.
people are
Thank
just
you.
built different. Can look directly into the sun during an eclipse. More power to them. I don't know how they pull it off, but they can.
Yeah. I don't know.
10 minutes left.
I sort of got gypped on the eclipse or the eclipse. Eclipse.
Yeah.
I went out there and it just looked like a cloudy day, a thunderstorm coming up. Like, oh man. So much.
Yeah, I kind of asked a stupid question. I'm like, is it supposed to look like this? Because it was just kind of felt like it was just cloudy. But then an avid stargazer corrected me, says, no, you have to wait until it gets complete coverage or near complete coverage. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, like events like that, like Halley's Comet and so forth. Here's a worthless trivia fact. Mark Twain was born on the day of Halley's Comet. He also said that he would leave the planet when the comet returned. And he died on the day when the comet returned.
Really?
It's pretty weird.
Whoa.
No way.
Well, you do have a little more control over the back end of that, but still very weird.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Speaking of the solar eclipses, back in 2017, when that eclipse came across the eastern part of the U.S., I was living in North Carolina, and it crossed over in South Carolina, just about 3.5 hours from where I was living. And I had read about it, what you need to do, and the best positions, how long to look, the glasses, and that whole thing, or how long it's going to last. And I just read a whole bunch up on it. First one, never seen one before. Get to South Carolina, and as it starts getting darker, the moon is coming across it. I think it's like 6 minutes or something to go across. We're all looking at this through the glasses, and I happen to turn around to get to another spot and notice the shadows on the ground. And they were all this weird crescent shape, and it freaked me out. Everybody's looking at the sun, and I'm turning around filming the ground, and crickets are going off. It was pretty crazy. Like, I was more impressed with the way that looked. Just because you think of it, if you have a flashlight, and then you put a piece of paper across it, it's going to curve. It's going to be a curved light on the wall. But then you do that for every corner, on every leaf, on every branch, and it was crazy looking on the ground. And that's something, out of all the research I did, everything learning about the eclipse, not once did I read anything about the shadows. I was totally freaked out.
Love it. Love it.
Wow. I know that the animals go to sleep during the eclipse, because we had one here like many years ago, and they were observing how the cows are going to behave. And when the eclipse came, they were like, all right, it's nighttime. And they all fell asleep for like about 5 minutes. It was like the most bizarre thing ever. And then it kind of went away and they all woke up. It's like, okay, that was short.
I didn't get a good night's rest there, did I?
Yeah.
Somebody's asking me to shroom. No, I wasn't on shrooms. It's a real thing.
Yeah?
It's on video. I'm literally looking at it, shining around, and then just turned around and saw the ground. Like, there's no way. Thousands of people looking up at the sun and filming the tree shadows.
Yeah, it's not always hallucinogens, guys.
The chat goes straight to that every time, don't they, D? They go straight to the hallucinogens.
Absolutely. They go straight to drugs. It's like, no.
Yeah, there are phenomenons, natural occurring phenomenons in life, but yes, they do. Carl Hungus, yes, excellent. Well, guys,
drugs, I need some no-dos.
I don't think they have that anymore, Robert.
They don't. They got Celsius now. 200 milligrams.
Did that have anything to do, Robert, with you slacking me at like 4 a.m. Eastern this morning?
Jesus.
Yeah, I got an hour and a half sleep. I was working all night.
Oh boy, trooper!
Hey,
let's pass that combine, baby. Come on.
Up?
Yeah.
Jack, are you up? My God, man. No? Wow.
I think Jack might have gotten up early to sign in or something.
There's maybe a poll. How many are watching TSTV on shrooms? Not many, I would guess.
Let's get to the bottom of it.
Lion's Mane. Does Lion's Mane count? I'm taking some Lion's Mane.
Lion's Mane. So yeah, that's right. I take that every day.
Me too. Yeah.
So I suppose I'm on shrooms. Yeah, it really does help with just like connecting super complex things throughout the day.
Mushroom background.
I've caught myself roaring at my wife.
Oh, easy now. Easy now. Well, markets have officially fallen asleep. If I'm missing any market that is moving, please alert me to it.
Gasoline futures are moving.
How's RBOB? How's RBOB going over there, D?
RBOB is great. It's great. It's moving. So
okay, there we go. We got one.
Failed auction, neutral day type. So again, if we get to average session range high at 277.40, might plop in a trade there on the combine.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, that's probably not gonna. It's gonna hit lunch hour, so might not be on live. But yeah, that's definitely kind of like the same trade that I took in gold. So that fade of the neutral day type and ping back to the middle, that would be something to look out for. Because we do have a range. If I scale out a little bit on a 30-minute chart, you will see that we do have the range here. So that supply on a 30-minute chart is still holding. And we have overlapping values. So again, maybe a bracket. And then if that breaks, then it's still an uptrend. But for now, we have a range established on a median time frame. So it might be some worth shorting this against the move into the top of the range.
Excellent. Well, as Dolby says in the chat, CL not playing. It is not playing. It is.
It's not playing.
It's not playing.
It's been annoying me for 2 months. Yeah, it's just like things are moving, and CL is just like, yeah, we don't care.
Crude's caught a bid. We dip below 85. Those, D, it just feels like big fat round numbers and crude just don't hold the way like they do in the equities. 85, like a knife right through it, then right back through them. Am I misreading something? I'm not a crude trader. For those that are big fat round numbers,
it's to do with
significance.
There is a significance, but you have to match the day type with them. So if you have a neutral day type, round numbers are not going to matter as much. It's all just going to be whatever, wherever the liquidity is, they kind of turn around from it. But when you have trending days, like if you're trying to get into directional move, which does happen on crude oil every so often, but it does happen at the rate of 35% only when looked at over like large sample sizes of looking at 5 to 8 years of everyday movement. So keep that in mind. It's not a super high probability occurrence. When you have that, and let's say you're trying to get in on a directional move, maybe from a low volume node or something, that's when you need to pay attention to round numbers and try not to get in with a stop loss at the round number, but instead try to position yourself above the round number for a short and below the round number for a long. And that tends to make for a stronger directional position. So that's something to take away.
Interesting.
My research. But on a neutral day, round numbers are just not very reliable at all.
I see. Okay, good. So you go. You're looking at years and years and years of experience there. Just you got the cheat sheet there as to big fat round numbers and crude. Okay, guys, we got about 2 minutes left here.
Yeah, sorry. So I've probably looked at about 20,000 trades to see how that behaves. It's like a lot of samples. And one thing that I found is that stop losses in crude oil at, let's say if you're longing from around the round number, stop losses at about 0.70. So wherever we are, let's say 84.70, that makes for a stronger stop loss than putting it at 84.90, for example, for a long. And for a short, 0.35 has to be like the magic number that survives most times. This is something that we see how much of a nerd I am, because I was looking at a whole bunch of time series data and the trades that one of our systems has done, and I started noticing that the trades that survived all started getting this commonality that when they survived, the stop loss was about 0.3, 0.35 for shorts and 0.7, 0.65 for longs. And I was like, oh, interesting. So I actually ran an algorithm to only place the stop loss at those numbers, and suddenly I got a massive improvement in the profits. And I'm like, whoa, okay, that's interesting. So just, random things you can discover just by staring at a whole bunch of trades.
Yes, there's something to that. You cannot replace screen time. You cannot replace screen time. That's what we always say here.
Yeah.
You got decades and decades of screen time sitting in front of you here on TopstepTV. Guys, it's the markets didn't really cooperate. It's called fast markets. Typically, it is a faster market. Market's been a little bit thin today, which is okay. Really quick, we saw some FOMC is not till 1 o'clock Central Time this afternoon.
Yes.
Just a correction here in the chat. Eddie, thank you for doing that in the chat. Again, FOMC minutes, not FOMC. FOMC minutes is this afternoon, 1 p.m. Central, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. You guys, thank you so much. I just want to go over the schedule for the rest of the day because we got a action-packed day. After this, hey, Robert and Eddie, did you guys know you're on with Peter Tuchman here in about 2 minutes? So good. Well, tune in for that. Peter Tuchman, the man. Yep, the most photographed man on the New York Stock Exchange, the Einstein of Wall Street. We got top quiz with Jack and Bonnie, shoulder tap, Hogan Mick, group coach, and Dolby and David Green. That's always a great segment. I really enjoyed the last one. Patience with KV, and then we got a power hour with myself and Dolby, and I think Jack's joining us for that one. We will see, but that was the fast markets. It wasn't the fastest of markets. It was a profitable one, though, so we do like to see that. Thank you very much for joining us. Please stay tuned for Power Players with Peter Tuchman, Eddie, and Robert. Guys, let's do it. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Let's see you.